All right. Can everyone see us? Let's have a look. What do we got? I just want to see what the do.
Ooh.
Because I'm just curious on the overlay. How's that going to work?
Oh, where's my video? Oh, there you go. Ha ha ha.
No, it's Mysterious Manny. Oh, let's see. I'm removing the guest. I'm just curious if I'm just playing around with these settings. There we are. That looks a bit better.
That reminds
I knew I had a big head, but like not not like that.
reminds me of was it is it hair tonic? Rabbititis?
Yeah, yes, exactly. That's an interesting background. I mean, that's what's for free, all this stuff. I'm just curious though, where is can anyone actually see? You got now live in your channel. Okay, because I think it's there's like a delay. There we are. They're saying, hey, it's like, well, and Manny, you're like, what about chopped liver?
What am I chopping liver over here? What are you talking about, huh?
I guess I'm scared of my question for you. Oh dear, it's
Oh
like,
goodness.
are you a scruncher or a folder? No, I wonder what the question would be. I was actually kind of worried, because normally I use my phone as a streaming thing, but it wasn't working. It wasn't connecting. I was like, oh, so I had to fish out this um, old webcam I had, and because the free version of this program I'm using is only up to 720p anyway, it didn't matter. So it's like, yeah, whatever. So you had a busy day, Manny?
Yes, I did. I sang 3 times today, and I figured, why don't I end my day by talking on a live stream? No. Yeah, I did two church services this morning, and then I did a concert for a friend of mine for the church he's a music director at. They had an anniversary concert, and I was this is the most covered of. Thanks, Camden. I appreciate it. I tip my hat to you, and I do have a
Ooh,
hat, but and I even have zippers.
I
Actually,
haven't. I haven't got a hat.
he hasn't got a hat, so he
That's it.
can't tip
Yeah,
his hat to you.
that's it.
Um, so yeah, and I did just came back from the concert. I had a some dinner, or as you guys say, supper,
And I've got
and
water.
water. I got to get me some water over here. I just as Camden so brilliantly pointed out, yes, I do have a hat. I actually just I doubt he's seen the stream, but Custom Hats NY just got this from now. It's the turtle bed sheets I had from back in the day, as we say, and that's a pretty cool hat. So yeah,
That rhymes. The day, as we say.
shouldn't Manny be singing the whole time? So should I just do this entire stream as a recitativo, like an
Yeah.
opera, like hello, Anthony. Bum, bum, bum. I need like somebody playing a harpsichord underneath me. So, hello, Anthony. Dun dun.
I'll
How
get
are
my
you today?
harpsichord. I think I've got one under my desk somewhere.
Oh yeah,
My harpsichord.
it's
Just
probably
grab
on
it
the
out.
shelf. Just go dig it out of the shelf.
No, we'll just do the whole thing like Hamilton, which as you know, I wasn't particularly fond of. But hey, we could do the whole thing like that. It's like, how you doing, Manny? Sir, da 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 da. See, I rap like white people. See, I rap like white people.
Informer. Da, 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 da. Well, isn't that guy? Was the Snow is Canadian? Where's Blue when you need him?
I don't know. Justin writes, water from the Barbie. It's a shrimp on a Barbie, mate. All right, what have we got here? What have we
Camden's
got here?
bald too. He's just being funny. Thank you, SC. Much appreciated. Bald is
That's right.
beautiful.
Bold is beautiful. That's right. Damn right. Let's see here. Question for Manny. What is your favorite animated film music score? Ooh, that's a good one. Ooh, it's not the Ninja Turtles movie score. Just pick one of those and you're done for the day. I'm
Yeah,
sure you've got something there.
John Duprez, the word. No, I sadly need to watch just more films, not just animated, but films in general. But I would probably say the Lion King soundtrack because it was actually, yeah, I think it was not the soundtrack for the film, but the rhythm of the Pride Lands. That was it was an album that came out of music that was inspired by the film, and I thought that was a soundtrack. I was what 6, 7 years old at the time. I went to I got that I think at Kmart or Caldor or one of those department stores back in the day, and I loved the music that was inspired by that film. And I mean, I love the film; it's a classic, and it's my goodness, 30 years ago already. And there
Yeah,
was
and I saw it in the cinema too. I saw it like on the first week it came out. That's how old I am.
lucky you. I mean, I had it on home video. I had it on VHS, but no, I almost never went to the movies growing up, sadly, or the cinema.
The
And
cinema.
and eventually I did get the soundtrack. There was a record chain called Coconuts, and I went there with my parents. Again, I was probably like 7 years old at the time, and I picked up the soundtrack to The Lion King, and I just listened to that religiously. And I mean, what Elton John and Tim Rice and all the other collaborators, Lee Boem, and all those artists that they got on the soundtrack. I mean, it's a phenomenal film. It's just the music still holds up to this day. So I guess that answers your question. That was JCL. So hi JC. What is that what's the name of that Muppet? I'm looking at his avatar. It said the Muppet, the one of the bandmates, animals and bandmates. I should
Yeah,
know
it
this. I'm
is.
not.
It is. It's not animal. I
Yeah,
forgot.
it's like the guy with the must. You can tell I'm not the biggest Muppets fan in the world, but it's that guy.
It's that guy over there.
Over there, they're talking
And
over there.
Justin writes, it's not really a question. It's kind of like that thing in The Simpsons where it's like, I think Homer gets stupider every year. And, we're going to. I warn you guys, don't take a shot every time we do a Simpsons reference in this live stream. Otherwise, you may die of alcohol poisoning. But he goes, you rap like Iggy Azalea. I actually don't know who Iggy Azalea is, but I'm assuming
What?
I'm bad. Yes, I told you I live in a bubble. I didn't even know any of Taylor Swift's songs or anything like that. That's how out of it I am. I used to be with it, but
but they changed what it was.
yes,
Iggy was a big hit. I would say close to 10 years ago. An Aussie, blonde rapper.
I've probably seen her, but.
Yeah, you probably seen her, and you might be. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of her music, but yeah, she blew up like about 8 years ago. I forgot what's the name of the song that she had, but I'm musically, my tastes are pretty much stuff before I was born. I mean, I do like stuff from the 90s and the 2000s and whatnot, but generally speaking, it's like the 80s and back, which is what I prefer.
Or the Ninja Turtle themes on a loop. That's all you listen to in the car.
Yep.
Just
87, 2003, 2012, 20.
You just drive
and I do and the Ninja Rap and Pizza Power. Hello there, stranger. And yeah.
Oh man, and Matt Hunter and Manny them. That's
and Manny them. That's going to be my rap name.
I know who Eminem is. I'm not that out of it. I know who Eminem is. But let's have a look. What else do we have here? I mean, we can later on see if either Matt or SC, whatever, if they want to pop on a little bit to say hello, they can do that. Hello there. Let's see. Jay, trademark. We better be careful with that because there's a trademark on his name. So Jay, what is your favorite Looney Tunes cartoon? Mine is the Unruly Hair Rabbit Fire. Great choices, I will say. They are definitely great choices. Let's see, Manny, you know my favorite, right?
Yes, and you know my favorite, right?
No.
Shame on you. All right.
All right.
It's obvious. I'll give you a hint. We haven't gotten to it yet. It's so obvious.
What's Opera Doc?
What's Opera Doc?
Of course.
It's a cliche. I mean, it's a music one. It's a masterpiece, Bob. Everybody's been talked about it to death. It still holds up as my favorite Warner Brothers short. It's like the perfect fusion for me of my love of music and my love of Looney Tunes. But I guess, here, you go ahead and you say yours.
That's all right. Just trying to fix the camera. I realize it's probably a bit slanted. It's like another Simpsons reference with the house all slant, so it's not like that, But my favorite, everyone's probably going to think, oh, he's going to say Buddy's Bearcats. No, it's not, okay? For those that don't know, who haven't watched the review of Buddy's Bearcats that's on there, the reason that's become a thing on the channel. It was just a stupid little thing. It's okay. When I was doing the commentaries in order, they were kind of bland as whose buddy gets in and that. But then once Jack King did his first short, it's no masterpiece, right? But it had a lot more energy than a lot of what came before. And I was like, wow, this is actually really, really fun. I mean, it's stupid. It's not great, but it's a lot more fun than what we're used to by that point. So, and I remember someone writing in the comments for that commentary at the time, it's like, dude, calm down kind of thing, because I was really excited for it. So, yeah, so the whole thing is now, yeah, if anything's, it's like it's not as good as Buddy's Bearcats, you know. That I don't know. It just became a thing. No, Do Re Meow by Art Davis. That's my favorite Looney Tunes of all time.
I'm 4. You was right, Louie. I'm 4. You was right, Louie. I'm 4.
It's I would, as you've said before in a few reviews, I would love to be a fly on the wall on that recording session, just seeing Mel Blanc just doing his whole stupid voice. Just, oh man, that would have been awesome. Just okay. All right, Mel, I want you to act like a really stupid cat. Say no more. It's like, and of course, breathe, stupid, breathe. You forgot to breathe,
stupid. I mean, I've actually said that sometimes when I'm singing and there's like a part that I notate in the music, I have to breathe, and I go, breathe, stupid, breathe, and I in my head.
What's the next question for Mikael Concorbo? I mean, obviously I'll try and answer as much as we can. If we missed the question, I do apologize. But okay, what TV shows do I like to watch? I mean, I'll answer for Manny. Of course, it's Ninja Turtles. But I'm sure he's got other things. But look, me with TV, I watch a fair bit. A lot on streaming and that. I mean, I'll just think of what I've watched recently.
Crocodile Hunter.
Oh yeah, I watch that on loop always. You know, that's not a knife. This is a knife.
There's a knife.
This is a knife,
mate.
Just odds and ends, really. I mean, I've been watching the new Star Wars that everyone seems to hate, and I think it's okay. There's nothing really that wrong with it. You know, it's like another Simpsons reference. It goes where Willie's like, Scots against other Scots. It's like Star Wars fans hate Star Trek fans. They hate this, and Star Wars fans against Star Wars fans. You know, it's just I don't listen to haters. I'll watch them. Some Star Wars shows are better than others, and that's it. You know. I'll watch what I want to watch, and I don't care what the haters say, you know. But other than that, Only Murders in the Building. I like that one. That was a pretty good show. I've been watching that. I'll be here all day if I try and recount all the TV shows I make. I have to give the new live action Avatar a go. I know you've been saying to watch that. So yeah. What about you, Manny? Like you've you don't have that much time for TV, do you? It's just eating dogs all day.
Yeah, eating dogs and pizza. Oh goodness, I gotta knock it off on the pizza. I had so much pizza last week. Surprisingly, speaking of pizza, I have not seen every single Ninja Turtles episode.
That's it. I'm booting you out. I'm booting you out.
That's it. Getting them out. That's a goal of mine actually. Soon is on top of trying to finish all the Warner Brothers shorts. I would like to watch 500 something, 600, whatever episodes of the 4 Ninja Turtle shows that exist, plus the new one that's coming out, Tales of the TMNT in August. But and I do, obviously I enjoy that. But my favorite, let's say, when it comes to animation, The Simpsons, the first 8 seasons and bits and pieces afterwards. I haven't watched many of those episodes in years, though, because I just don't have the time. But again, I want to sit down and rewatch the classic era, as some people say. Actually, one of my best friends texted me today, and he said that him and his wife were watching season 34 of The Simpsons, and I was thinking of you. And I told him, I said, yeah, there was one episode that I did flip on, the really meta one that they were like addressing, fan theories and rumors, and then they actually reanimated Bart the Daredevil, which I thought was really neat. I would say The Simpsons, and after that, my second favorite animated show is the Avatar verse, Avatar: The Last Airbender, plus The Legend of Korra. I know some people are mixed on The Legend of Korra, but I personally love it. Some of the shows growing up that I haven't seen in years. I mean, Rocko's Minor Life was probably my favorite Nicktoon. Rocko and Ren and Stimpy before Avatar came along. And when it comes to live action, I just don't watch a lot of TV. I mean, if I do watch something, I'd rather buy it on DVD or Blu-ray or stream it. There's that too. But I love Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad was one of the best things I've ever seen.
Live action, yeah. I was gonna say live action, like Breaking Bad, and Better Call Saul. They're really good. I'm waiting for the inevitable, like, complete box of everything, including the Netflix movie, and just watch the whole thing in a row again. I mean, I love Twin Peaks. That should be enough. That's probably one of my favorite shows of all time. Twin Peaks is just bonkers. I just love it, including the movie Fire Walk with Me. That's pretty good too. But let's see another question.
Oh, sorry, and I was going to say one more. I
gotta finish the Ninja Turtles show with Venus in it. That's your
next mutation. Actually, I'm on season 3 of Better Call Saul. I got to finish that. And how could I forget my favorite sitcom, All in the Family? Love that show. That you need to. You had no idea it exists. Well, you know it exists from the parody that they did in The Simpsons of when they did the parody of the theme song, and then I sent you the clip. You're like, "That's what it is." I was like, "Yeah, it's a classic."
Yep, indeedy. S.C. McPeter, good old SC. You know, who's the hottest Looney Tunes character? My vote is for Gossamer, which, you know, yep, chef's kiss to that one. Love that. I get it. All right, James, he's asking me favorite cartoon on Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network. Sorry, Manny, you're not allowed to answer. You're forbidden. No, we'll get your answer to favorite cartoon Nickelodeon. Look, I love Ren and Stimpy. That just blew my mind as a kid. I am aware of the controversy, and I'm not going to get into that on this stream, okay? Because there's a lot of other good people working on the show, okay? But anyway, Ren and Stimpy just blew my mind, and that came around the time of The Simpsons. In fact, I grew up with The Simpsons. I was 5 years old when it pretty much came out here, 5, 6 years old, and I just watched it from there. So it's been here my whole life, really, as far as I remember. Rocko's Modern Life, of course, Our Real Monsters, Rugrats, all that stuff. The classics. That's
when did Ren and Stimpy? When did The Simpsons start in Australia? What year?
From what I remember, I don't think it came at the same time as the US. So yeah, because I know 89 is
because I'm like we're what 3 years apart. I'm like I was a year old when The Simpsons premiered.
No, it came here. It came here when I was like 6 or 7. So I think 91, 92. I could be wrong. Maybe it came earlier and I just didn't know because I was too little. I didn't realize. But as far as my memory, when I started watching them, I think the first 4 seasons were on like a loop. Or it was like 3 seasons, maybe they added the 4th, I don't know. But the first time I truly remembered new episodes coming out and I was excited was the first episode of season 5, which is, of course, the Barbershop Quartet one. That was the first new episode I saw, like brand spanking new at the time. So there you are.
Wow.
There you are. Let's see. Iggy slaps butt. Well, don't ask me to slap mine. It's not that kind of stream. Let's see.
Well, that was that's something that she's also famous for is her physique. So.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Which is clearly what I'm famous for too on my channel, my physique. We get the people over.
That's what all the people are clamoring for.
That's right. That's right. That Aussie steak on a Barbie. You know. That's. Let's see here. Can we ask questions about your channel or overall? Doesn't matter overall as long as it's within reason. Let's see.
Floyd Pepper. That's the name of the Muppet. Thank you, JC, and thanks, Matt.
Thoughts on these animated films? Haunted World of El Super Beasto. I haven't seen that. The Point, masterpiece. Definitely go and see if you can. Harry Nilsson, wonderful. You got to see that. Pony. I'm not sure what you mean by Pony. Akira. I mean, I don't know if you can see behind me. Right there. I got the 4K, and I've got. Just tilt back, and right there is this limited DVD of Akira. I never got the Blu-ray for some weird reason. I jumped straight from DVD to 4K. I don't know why. Masterpiece. Twice Upon a Time. I've been meaning to see it. I have it somewhere. I will get to it at one point. So, Justin said, I would have guessed Three Little Bops for your favorite.
It's in my top 10. I do love Three Little Bops.
Favorite Daffy Duck cartoon directed by Bob Clampett. probably the last one Clampett was credited for. I think that one would be, Great Piggy Bank Robbery. I think that might be my favorite. Offhand, that's just, it's kind of like a gunshot thing where it's like, all right, pick your favorite. It's like, Great Piggy Bank Robbery, because I watched that one so much as a kid. But there's so many good ones that he did. Did you have a favorite Clampett Daffy, Manny?
I have one in my head, but I'm kind of cheating right now. Because I was gonna say Great Piggy Bank Robbery, but I mean that's for me, that's like the go-to one. But I'll probably say I would go with Baby Bottleneck
Yeah, that's
because
a good one.
I mean it's a classic from was it 1946. And it's like the scene in particular when Porky's trying to get Daffy to sit on the egg, and when the whole conveyor belt scene starts with Powerhouse playing. I mean, and I've said a million times, like Porky and Daffy is my favorite Looney Tune duo, and it's just like that's one of the best examples of just how great that those two work
That's news
as
to me.
characters.
That's news to me, Porky being a favorite character. I never would have figured, That's why you gave me, a 30-something minute recording for I Haven't Got a Hat?
It could have been 50.
Could have. No, it was good. Like, oh, look, it's so weird in Looney Tunes history how that one is the 100th. Like, what are the odds of something being so, like, a big milestone in two ways like that? It's just it's interesting coincidence. Am I a fan of Walter Lantz cartoons? I haven't seen too many, if I'm being completely honest. I haven't even finished that Woody Woodpecker Blu-ray. I know, shock horror. I saw the 4 Tex Avery ones he did before he left, because I'm doing, I may as well say it now, the next one after the Chuck Jones will be the Tex Avery after the Looney Tunes.
Spoilers.
Yes, that one's going to be slightly different because with Tex, we all know he did Looney Tunes, obviously. We all know his MGM stuff, but really, there's what was after that. It's not as much because it's actually quite a sad story, really. And I don't want to make that thing too depressed. So I watched those 4 shorts, and they're pretty good. That's probably, I think Thad Komorowski mentioned, and I was looking at it and was like, oh, he makes a good point. If you look at the production drawings of those Walter Lantz ones, and compare it to the finished product is probably the closest to Tex Avery's line as you're ever going to get, without anyone else actually sort of drawing over it, if that makes sense. Like, if you see those drawings, you'll know what I mean. Have you seen those 4 Tex ones?
I think I've seen maybe 2 of them, but it was such a long time ago. I think Shh. I think that's one of them.
Hey, it's my live stream. Don't tell me to shush.
Yeah. And I know there was some with Chili Willy. I think I might have seen those, but again, this is ages ago. And I bought the DVDs of Woody Woodpecker and the other Lance stuff and the Blu-ray, but just haven't gotten around to seeing it. And in general, like it's just so many theatrical shorts that I do want to see, if the time permits. I mean, I guess all at the top of my head, my favorite Lance short is Pantry Panic because I saw it on the public domain tape so much as a kid. It's the only Woody Woodpecker short in the public domain. And I know that it got restored recently. And it's like, even as a kid, it creeped me out. And as an adult, I'm like, this is kind of a creepy cartoon, especially the ending when they, when the cat and Woody, spoilers for a 80-something-year-old cartoon that everybody saw back in the day, when they kill the moose. You know what? I'm still hungry. And it's just like, but I mean, it's a phenomenal cartoon, but it is creepy.
Woody Woodpecker cartoons are just weird. I mean, when I was watching that Blu-ray, I don't know, something just feels a bit off about him. I don't know why. I don't go in expecting that they're going to be the same quality as Looney Tunes and Disney and all that stuff. They're going to be their own thing, but I don't know. Something about them just feels a little bit off. Like, I'm not connecting with them. I don't know why. I might have to give them a fresh rewatch. I do like that Barbershop one. That was a pretty good one.
I did see that one, the Barber Seville. That one's good.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame because that one's got a major stereotype in there that you can't really, show too much these days. It is what it is. But I thought that one was pretty good. But the other ones, I don't know. But anyway, next question. There's a new TV channel coming Tuesday called MeTV Tunes. Any thoughts? I mean, first of all, I can't get that channel. I'm in Australia, so. But
Womp womp.
But I'm all for anything that brings more people to watch these classic shorts, whether I like or cartoons in general, whether I like or dislike some of the cartoons, shorts, whatever, it doesn't matter. Like, I think it's a great thing, there should be, more outlets for that sort of thing. Now, I'm a physical media guy, and I actually don't watch live TV except for a couple of sporting events and maybe the news. And I've not done that since the early 2000s. As soon as studios release on DVD complete sets of TV shows and, of course, animation, like Golden Collections or whatever, I binge watched before it was cool. Like, it's my Millhouse. So, I binge watched before it was cool because I just didn't like the idea that I had to put everything on hold just to whatever the thing dictates. You got to watch a new episode at this time. It's like, I don't want to watch it now. I want to watch it with my time. So, so I got the physical media. That's been my preference. Streaming, obviously, two-edged sword with rights going all over the place, and it's not the greatest solution in the world. So I use streaming to watch stuff that is only on streaming, that's exclusive. But other stuff, I've got Plex. So I made my own media service. So whatever cartoons I want, I can watch anytime. And side note, the funniest thing I've seen, though, is when they make an announcement, on MeTV, we're going to show, I don't know, Duck Dodgers or some really common cartoon. Everyone's getting really excited about it. It's like, but I got the disc. I can watch it right now. I don't know. Anyway, I just find it weird. But hey, whatever. If people are happy and they watch their live TV, whatever, anything to get more people watching cartoons, full support. I just hope that all these rumored documentaries and because I think Jerry's confirmed there'll be no original cartoon programming, I believe, but there will be some documentary style stuff, if I'm not mistaken. Is that what you heard, Manny? I think that's
something along those. Yeah, because I know with the channel itself, it's kind of like Boomerang on steroids, and because Boomerang really could only get stuff from the Warner, or that probably at the time the Time Warner library, but this one, it's a combination of Warner Brothers Discovery. You're getting stuff from Universal with Walter Lantz. You're getting Betty Boop, Popeye shorts are owned by Warner Brothers Discovery, but I know people were sending me that the real Ghostbusters is going to be on that channel. So stuff, from the Warner Brothers Discovery library, Universal, Sony, which is the real Ghostbusters, and just I would say stuff from the theatrical days up until the 90s, because I remember seeing that Freakazoid is going to be on the channel, and there's
that's a
something
good show.
else. Oh, and Inspector Gadget, also from the 80s, will be on there. So it's a nice, healthy mix of different things. And like you said, this is getting, cartoons out there, but more importantly, it's free. So I know not every person's going to get it first. I have to double check, how it's working here in the New York, New Jersey area. I'm assuming we'll get it with no problem because, we're the biggest market in the country. But it reminds me of a point that one of my favorite videos on YouTube, besides yours, for Looney Tunes stuff is Pop Arena's Looney Tunes on Nickelodeon video, and at the end, the host brings up the point where it's like for 50, for about 40 years or so, in some ways we took it for granted that we could see Looney Tunes and Merry Melodies everywhere, and then the early 2000s. Time Warner was like, all right, it's only on Cartoon Network, and then they got rid of them. So, I'm 36. I ask people that are in their late 20s, mid 20s, and younger, they didn't grow up with these cartoons. What was it? The Bugs Bunny show ended in 2000. I was 12. But I still kept up with the hobby, but everybody else was younger and slightly older. Like, they miss out on a whole generation of shorts. And now you don't have to worry about paying for a streaming service. You don't have to worry about, if you don't have cable, you could just buy a digital receiver, 20, $25 off of Amazon, kind of like the rabbit ears from back in the day, and get it. Because when I was living in Houston, I didn't have cable, and I had the digital receiver, and I was watching MeTV there, and obviously the basic channels.
Yeah.
So it's cool that, Like, and the host says in the video that, you know, a random kid could stumble upon MeTV Tunes and see Bugs Bunny or Inspector Gadget or whatever for the first time and just get hooked to it like we did back in the day. Because I mean, it was mainly my exposure to Looney Tunes on Nickelodeon and public domain videotapes that got me into Looney Tunes heavily. Because I did see it on, you know, the Bugs Bunny and Tweety show on Channel 7, you know, the ABC affiliate in New York City. But it was mainly, Nickelodeon, which I had cable, and public domain tapes. But, you know, for other people, every Saturday morning, Bugs Bunny show on top of everything else. And that's what, you know, got them to love these shorts.
Yeah. So I was reading these comments. I love when Wiggum dresses up as Dr. Doolittle. I'm sorry.
This piggy's got to fly.
Squawk with the animals. Squawk with the animals.
Love on the Family. JC, awesome. Yes, I have the whole series on DVD. That's another one I got to do a rewatch.
So James meant Ponyo, not Pony. Like, because I was like, what do you mean by Pony? Like Ponyo, yes, I'm a huge Miyazaki fan, so yes, I love Ponyo. My kids love Ponyo. We love that stuff. Let me have a look. Random lad thoughts on Monty Python Flying Circus and their movies. Brilliant.
Never seen any of them.
I got it now. Another. That's
Here, I'll do you the favor.
That's a bootable offense.
All right, I'm back.
Not watching the Flying Circus is a bootable offense. Thoughts on Don Bluth's movies from the 80s? Weirdly enough, I've not seen Secret of Nim. I should.
Never seen it either.
I've seen American Tail. I think that's top notch. I think that's an excellent movie. Land Before Time. See, that I find hard to watch. Probably not for the reason you guys might think. Do yourself a favor. Don't, and I mean it, don't, and you guys probably will. Don't look up what happened to the girl doing the voice of Ducky, and I will say no more. Once you find that out, and All Dogs Go to Heaven, same thing. That's why I'm reluctant to watch that film, because I know what happened to that poor girl. So yeah, I'm not going to say any more. We're trying to keep, Matt says book review. Yes, that's another good.
Yes, classic short.
Let me see here. Wisecracking Duck, another great option.
JCL. I never. With the Bluth one, I saw All Dogs Go to Heaven when I was really young, and I haven't seen it again in years. And from the bits and pieces as a dog owner, you know, I get the feels. I've only seen parts of American Tail. Land Before Time, again, I saw when I was little. I don't remember pretty much anything from it. I did have Fievel Goes West on VHS. I don't know if Bluth. No, I don't think he worked on that one. That was
no, it wasn't him. No,
but I did enjoy that film a lot as a kid. I used to watch it a lot.
Fun fact about that one, apparently, because that's the last thing Jimmy Stewart ever did. He did a voice in that, and Spielberg himself apparently did his direction in the voice booth, in the recording booth. You know, because he was like executive producer, but I think he sort of enacted the executive privilege. Just like, you know what, he's a legend, I'm going to direct him. It's like, yeah, fair enough. You can't blame him for that. So there you are. A little fun fact. See, these live streams are educational. So there you go. Let me see.
Justin wrote in big letters, Drafty Daffy. Yes. Another great one.
Yeah. Thoughts on Dexter's Lab, Cow and Chicken, I Am Weasel, Johnny Bravo, Powerpuff Girls, and so on and so forth. I will say this. I call that the second wave for me. Like that. That's like my childhood. All right. So my first wave was the Nickelodeon stuff. That was the early 90s. You know, Ren and Stimpy, Rocko's Modern Life, Rugrats, and so on. My second wave, when I got a little bit older, was the Cartoon Network stuff when it finally came to Australia in 96, 97, something like that. That's when we finally had pay TV and Nickelodeon and that sort of stuff. Before that, we just had like 4 channels and that was it. So, yeah. So those were the days. Let me see. Thoughts on Half Pint Pygmy? Yeah, Justin, no. It's product of its time and not the best Tex Avery effort. Cascade commercials, Raid, etc. Yep. I'll be covering that in the Text Avery thing. One thing I'll point out, and I will mention it in that video, watching those commercials, it's amazing how much effort was put into those old commercials. Like, they were just there to sell a product. Sure, that's what they are, but they were just done so well. And I guess it helps that Avery had some Golden Age animators with him, like I think at Scribner and One and all that. So they're great. Let me see. Uncle Tom's Cabana is worse. Yeah, I can agree with that. Here we go. Any thoughts on the animators John and Faith Hubley? Love John Hubley's work. I really do. I love UPA. I mean, the later stuff, it does get a little bit repetitive and like visually interesting, but dull otherwise. So there's that. Matt Hunter, good old Matt. Let's see. Woody Woodpecker from the 40s and 50s, great. Again, I haven't seen all of them, Matt, so I'm only judging it based on the few I've seen, so maybe the others are better. I don't know. 60s, 70s, Run. So is that you hinting that we should do a live stream of the 60s and 70s stuff, Matt, and review them all, right? I mean, I'll hold you to it. Is that code to review
we should
Paul
binge
Smith,
all the Paul Smith 60s shorts. We should do that back. Well, we should alternate. We should do a Woody short from the 60s and 70s, and then do like 7 art shorts. So like go back and forth. So you can do like, and throw in some DePatty Freeling ones for good measure, because why not?
Well, Manny, I want subscribers. I don't want to lose them. All right. When I'll start doing clip show episodes, technically I already am with those redos when I did the commentaries, turning it into reviews. They kind of feel like clip shows in a way, but anyway.
Justin said, how much do you and me and Anthony love Velma? I've seen bits and pieces of it, and I'm like, ugh. I mean, I'm not a fan of Scooby-Doo in general. My mom did say that I did like it when I was very young, but as long as I can remember, I've never got the hype for Scooby-Doo. And then I saw bits and pieces of it, and I'm like, I appreciate the efforts of being subversive, but it sucks,
Yeah, I like, for me, look, there are legit complaints and there's illegit complaints. So the illegit ones is, why is Shaggy black now and all that stuff. Like, who cares? All right, I honestly don't care. There's so many versions of the Scooby-Doo stuff. By this point, you got to mix things up. And if you don't like it, you watch one that you do like, right? So those complaints are so stupid and laughable. But the legit complaints I've seen, and I've actually given Velma a go, and yeah, it's not for me. It's just not good writing.
Yeah,
it just wasn't funny. You can be subversive, you can be a bit twisted. I don't have a problem with that, but yeah, it's not. Give me one sec, because I might have a little surprise. Give me a second. It's like, ooh, surprise! I love surprises.
Ooh, turkey surprise.
Toiki.
I like SC asks, which Looney Tunes have you fallen asleep to, and why are they directed by Jack King and Bob McKimson? Well, when it comes to McKimson, I mean, obviously he came out of the gate super strong, and his stuff later on in the years wasn't as great. But I mean, I'm a bit of a McKimson apologist. But then again, I think once I get to his shorts in the late 50s and 60s, I won't think that much. But I mean, he had such a strong start up until the mid 50s. He was like firing on all cylinders for the most part. Now, Jack King, oh goodness gracious, look what the cat dragged in.
Yep.
Here I am.
It's S&M. Oh wait, no. It's like I told you, it's not that kind of live stream.
Symphony of Metallica. That's a great album. Hey,
face.
Welcome.
And people are like, oh, he actually does have a face.
Yeah.
Ninja Turtles 2. His face.
Actually, so JCL makes a good point here about his favorite sitcoms is Simpsons, All in the Family, and you see he goes, I'm embarrassed to say The Cosby Show, and the interesting thing is I've actually seen The Cosby Show, all of it, seasons 1 to 8. I've watched it, and it's so frustrating because the show legitimately was so good, but it's like anyway.
It's one of those things where it's like, I mean, I know not everybody agrees with this point, but love the art, hate the artists,
Yep.
and it sucks. I mean, especially with music, there's just so many problematic musicians or just, I mean, artists in general, we're just messed up people. I mean, I don't have too many skeletons in my closet. My closet's back there if you want to go check. But
it'd be like with Bugs Bunny, like if he walks in the closet once and there's like a skeleton or something and he comes out. I think that was a McKibb's one. Do you know which one?
I think Hot Cross Bunny.
Yeah, I should say, despite my question, I was being facetious. I do like McKimpson, and I do like some of Jack King's work.
Fishtails is a guilty pleasure of mine.
Yeah, Fishtails keeps me up. The rest of them don't.
But I guess because Fishtails, they used to play that a lot on Looney Tunes on Nickelodeon. But it's like unsettling, but I enjoy it. And speaking of unsettling,
awful,
I like it. It's a guilty pleasure of mine.
Now, there's a few of the Jack King cartoons that feel like they were comic strip adaptations where they took out all the dialogue and they just feel weird.
I always say that there's a scene in Shanghai Shipmates when they're all like eating. That scene is that's really unnerving. Just the way that they animate. I think one of the guys who was like eating a shoe or whatever, or eating his hat. I think it was eating his hat. And it's just like the way it was animated. I was like, like that's nightmare fuel.
And that scene of Porky starving.
Oh, and Porky like scrubbing, and the captain that's Shanghaied him just like really forces his head down and all that. It's like, it's like, Mr. King, do you have problems? Do you need some help? I think that's his form of therapy because he was getting frustrated. But when King goes to Disney, that's where he shines. That's my opinion.
He shines. He had better writers. I mean, all of his coworkers said, "Oh, Jack Cake didn't do anything to storyboards. He just did them as is." And I think that's why he kind of fell apart because he did no direction really.
Yeah, that's what I think. That's what I think it is. Let's see, Screen Gems. I've only seen a few, and the few I've seen, the Tasman directed one is pretty good. Fox and the Crow, that's pretty good. So
I like some of them, but you're not missing out on anything.
Yeah. Thoughts on new Looney Tunes for 2020? Hit and miss. I do like a lot of it. Not all of it's perfect, but then again, is every short going to be perfect? No. And I think I do like the arm wrestling one with Bugs and Sam. I thought that I was just laughing hysterically at the butt joke in there, which is kind of weird to say because it's Looney Tunes. But anyway, let's see.
I was on shouting out our buddy Jonathan Graves from This Means Podcast, and I did see some of the episodes of it. I have to catch up. It's been a while since I've seen them. And there's some that I'm like really capture the spirit of the theatrical shorts, and some I'm just like certain jokes, or as I like to say, it's weird like seeing Looney Tunes having jokes of like things that these animators were influenced by. I mean, like seeing Ren and Stimpy style jokes in Looney Tunes characters isn't my cup of tea, like particular gross out gags and whatever. But I mean, there was a short that they did with Sylvester and Tweety that it was set to classical music. That one was brilliant. The one with Yosemite Sam and Bugs Japan was really good. And the homage to the Patty Freeling and Seven Arts shorts with Porky and Daffy. I mean, the fact that they recreated the Seven Arts intro I was like, thank you. To me, that's a labor of love and a huge deep cut for nerds like us. And it's like that effort. I appreciate it. Was that?
I liked the recent Daffy and Wacky Land. It drove to a point where it just felt like the only gag was to be weirder and weirder, but I liked the experiment. It was good for what it was.
Yeah. And I know that people were saying like, wow, this is very heavily influenced by Pee-wee's Playhouse. I didn't watch Pee-wee's Playhouse. I was too young for that. But from the little I've seen and know of the show, I'm like,
Hampton, I see your comment. I'm not answering Les Elton right now.
Well, I actually watched a few episodes of Playhouse. when it was on Netflix. I thought I'd give it a bit of a go because Pee-wee's Big Adventure, the Tim Burton film. If you guys haven't seen it, definitely watch it. It's one of the funniest films I've ever seen, and it's different. Obviously, Pee-wee's Big Adventure has a lot of more adult type jokes in that, but the Playhouse, of course, is more geared towards kids. I mean, if you want to see Lawrence Fishburne dressed as a cowboy, here's your chance. Cowboy Boys,
I'm now reminded of one of my favorite openings when me, Matt, Anthony are recording, and Matt was saying, "Oh, Buddy's sort of this Pee Wee Herman-like character. He's sort of like a man-child." I was like, that brings a whole new meaning to Buddy's theater.
So, favorite non-Miyazaki Ghibli film? I'll just fill that very quickly because you guys probably, I don't know if you want to answer. I love the Tale of Princess. I forgot the full title on that. But Grave of the Fireflies, man, if you ever want to see the most depressing, saddest anime of all, or a film full stop of all time, that's the one for you. In fact, they actually paired that with My Neighbor Totoro because it was like, all right, here, kids, here's a really, really depressive film, but here's now a fun film involving, fantasy, giant stuff, giant creature things, But yeah, I love what was it? For One Up on Poppy Hill was pretty good. I enjoyed that one. But yeah, I mean, pretty much anything with Ghibli on it, I like. The CG animated one's probably the worst, but I still like it for what it is. Let me see. What else do we have here?
I like Pompoko, which isn't by
Yes.
Miyazaki.
Yeah, the funny thing about Pompoko is I have to explain to my kids when we watch it. It's like, yes, they are using their certain part of their body as a parachute, and I'm not going to go to full on details. Like that's one of the reasons why Disney was so reluctant with that one because, and when they dubbed it, they sort of removed all evidences of.
That's such a beautiful part, though.
Yeah. Let's see. Wit's Brain. Hello. One of my top supporters. My tunes are all on Plex server. Can watch them anywhere, anytime. Yeah, I mean everyone's different. Some people they love the live TV randomness and they just like to flip it on and whatever's on they'll watch. Hence the MeTV Tunes. Me, I'm more of a schedule type person. I like planning things out and yeah,
I watch everything on a CRT and glorious VHS.
And I know SC only watches things on an 8mm red tinted film prints, right?
Yeah, that's right. I only watch those old AAP black and white ones with the subtitles.
It's like color. It's like color. You hedonist. We got to stay with black and white. You got to be.
We don't need no stinking color.
I like Matt's like, no, run away from them. Like the set.
Get out.
Get out.
Get out of here. There are too many nerds in this chat.
If you go JCL, if you think Uncle Tom's Cabana was bad, watch Scrubby Mama with a Boogie Beat.
I've seen that one.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
Would you say, but Manny, would you say that at least the music, like if you'd switched it off and just listened to it, some of it at least there's some merit in that, or was it just like total trash? Because some people
nice instrumental I like.
Yeah. I mean, there's parts of it. I think when the main character, the young lady, starts singing, like musically, it's very catchy. But once you start hearing all the dialogue and everything,
the
visuals, it's like
all of those terrible Mel Blanc dialects.
Yeah, like I have a buddy of mine. Shout out to John. He's another hardcore Turtle fan. That I was we were talking about Looney Tunes or whatever, and I'm assembling a list of shorts to show him. The good, the bad, the ugly. And one of the shorts that I put on there was Clean Pastures because he needs it. I'm not putting all the Censored 11 for him to see, but it's personally, I'm not saying it's a great short, but it's probably the Censored 11 short that I can tolerate the most because I really love the music in that short. especially
I
when they
agree.
do Swing for Sale and some of the other ones. But I mean, you could obviously take off the visuals. Like clearly, we don't see Matt, and that's a good thing. No, hi Matt.
I'm
You hear Matt? It was like, "Howdy, y'all! I'm coming in."
He's looking for his hat, the cowboy hat. You know
and his 2 revolvers. He's going to start shooting them like a Yosemite Sam.
It actually reminds me because I've been watching all of King of the Hill. I'm nearly up to season 8, and one episode I said this to Matt the other time. There was one episode where one guy apparently was coming from Boston or something, and
Boston.
Hank needs to sell something to him with the propane and all that stuff. But he gets upset because Hank's not dressed up like a proper cowboy, and he's and all that. But Matt, are you there?
You hear me?
No, you
faintly.
Very faintly, so probably your mic.
I need to switch port.
As I said before, Matt Hunter should do all the post 64 shorts. He's the only one qualified, as his now extinct blog proves. I'm gonna fight Matt for all of those shorts. I'm gonna fight Matt to do all the Daffy and Speedy.
Fight tooth and nail.
So
to the death.
Thanks to Manuel, the Colombian Beyonder. I enjoy your Looney Tunes shorts reviews a lot. Thank you for that. And
Manuel, gracias por su apoyo de nuestro canal. Here you go.
There we go.
All right, there we go.
There we go.
I see. That's what Matt is.
See if I was hungry.
What sound does a cow make?
I mean, we do have a lot of cows in Texas, so I guess that makes sense. Yeah,
it definitely does. Can you just imagine someone tuning in on the live stream and they all saw was Manny just going moo? What's the cow say?
That's gonna be a new meme.
Right. Now, was I here in SC? You were telling me you wanted to fight me for the talking about
all those
later
ones. Speedies, yes.
Oh boy.
Well, I'm an apologist for some of those because I think some of those are really funny. I grew up with them.
Right.
I grew up with them in the mix, like Manny did on Nickelodeon. Nickelodeon had all of them because nobody else wanted to show them. But I guess we didn't know that back then as kids. But and as out of character and mean as it is, in one of them, there's one called Assault and Peppered, where Daffy Duck is the
farming on my property.
Yeah, it lowered the value. I've told you, peons, 1,000 times not to starve on my property. It lowered the value.
I like a case of catnip where Daffy just starts drugging out and becomes a cat suddenly.
Yeah, and then he encounters Sylvester, and Sylvester beats the crap out of him.
Yeah,
that's okay. They're not the best Looney Tunes ever made. They're really not. But some of them are pretty funny. I don't think there was a bad chemistry between Daffy and Speedy. I just think it was kind of McKimson. It was McKimson kind of just said, okay, I'm stuck with these two characters that don't really go together. And he just kind of went with it. And unfortunately, they made him do like 38 of them or something. Yeah. And once you get past McKimson's, then you're done. Like you get to the when they brought in Alex Lovey, who came from Walter Lantz and Hanna-Barbera, and he was the guy who came up with Cool Cat and Merlin and all those guys. But
what a creative man.
Yeah, they're fine, but they're not the original Looney Tunes. Yeah. And he did not do well with Speedy and Daffy at all, except for one. I like Fiesta Fiasco. That's just me. I like that cartoon.
Yeah, fair enough.
I like the idea of a cloud just pestering Daffy.
Yeah. And he uses a vacuum cleaner to try and get rid of it after he's created it. It's like you created this mess, and then you're trying to get rid of it. It's just so stupid. But for some reason, I always laughed at it as a kid. And he tries to make the rain cloud go over the mice, over their party, over a wall, And there's this one really creative bit of animation where he hides behind a rock, and the cloud actually kind of gets mad at him, and it like goes, with lightning.
What?
Freeze frame that. I
Wow.
mean, there's some cool artwork in that.
Oh, for sure. So here's one question which I know was directed to us, but Matt, you actually gave the best thoughts on this, which it was like you went into my brain and took it straight out. So I'll let you fill this one, Matt. What did you guys think of DIY Duck? That recent 90th Donald Duck short, that 3-minute long thing.
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I didn't care for it. And the reason I didn't care for it was I thought every single aspect of it was lazy. Because if Disney had gone and said, you know what, this is a 2-minute or 3-minute or however long it was promo for Disney Plus, like, hey, we've got all the Donald Duck cartoons, which they actually don't. So they have a pretty good selection of them, but they don't have all of them.
Yeah, like the Furious Face. I'm going to make an assumption that'll never be on Disney Plus.
No. But great cartoon, but a historical piece,
Mm-hmm.
But no, they it looks like even though they promoted it as being hand drawn, it was put through a digital filter, not very well. And I thought it reminded me of those early 2000s webtoons that Warner Brothers did with the Looney Tunes characters, which you touched on, Anthony, with your with the Thomas Timberwolf that Chuck Jones did. Those were going on at the same time, but there was another series of them that were with the traditional Looney Tunes characters that Jones wasn't necessarily involved with, but it was all the voice cast and everything. Those were pretty funny. They weren't well animated. They didn't try to be. They were just like, here's a 2-minute little webtoon that you can watch, and it's funny. That's what that Donald Duck thing seemed to me like, was one of those. And the fact that they didn't do any original music or original voices for it either. It was all stock. I thought, Disney, it's freaking Disney. They have all the money in the world. Why would they not, why would they not put effort into making a Donald Duck cartoon if they wanted to do that?
The idea of trying to use like the classic music, the classic voice, that's an inspired idea, but it just feels so cheap in the results. I mean, they really did not give them a big budget for this, and it shows very obviously.
Yeah. I heard that they got pretty much like recent graduates or something. Like a lot of the people were just fresh. Like this was like their first major thing. I mean, so I've heard. I could be wrong.
What I was told was that after like the Once Upon a Story 100th anniversary short they did, they still had all these guys on contract and just used them to hash out the Donald Duck short, and then they all left.
Wow.
Which, it feels like nobody was really into it.
Yeah, and it's a shame because the writer-director, he's a talented guy. Name escapes me offhand, but when I saw his name. Yeah. Mark Henn, yeah. So I think
that guy.
It's like, that guy over there. That guy over there. What else have we got here?
And one of my favorite cartoonists, of all time, Dave Alvarez, who does he's been doing the Looney Tunes comic books since I was a kid. And he does official artwork for, a lot of the studios. He's one of the best out there. And he just posted something after that Donald Duck cartoon came out, and he said, well, here, what if you just drew it a little better? And he just took a frame from that short, and then he drew it himself. And he was like, well, what if we draw the pose this way? And it looked better. And there were some people that raked him over the coals for it, and some people that cheered him. But I'm like, I agreed with him. I was like, hey, put a little more personality into that drawing. Especially if you're only going to do it for 3 minutes. Every single pose in that cartoon needs to read well. It needs to express. And Donald Duck is a very emotional character. He's a and the cartoons progress. It goes from mildly frustrated to, okay, this is pissing me off. And then, big mad. And there was no progression and there was no expression. It's like it was boring. It's like, Donald
Yep.
Duck had no personality in that thing.
Yeah.
Yep. If you want a good short with the same similar idea, I'm just trying to get the name of it because it's just escaped me. I should. The thing is, I don't remember all the names, but it's the one where Donald is trying. It's a simple idea. It's just Donald trying to go to sleep. That's it. And every time you try to fall asleep, you might hear the dripping of a tap. Oh, sorry, you guys say faucet. We say tap.
I think it's like dip, dip, dippy or something like that.
Yeah. So it's
no Good Night Elmer, but it's good.
like I know they can't all be good night Elmers, I'm afraid, but but that's a good short to watch if you want the same idea executed well. It starts off slow, like okay, like you got Donald going, so I can't do the voice. So early to bed, I sound like him having some kind of a throat issue. He's singing early to bed, early to rise, whatever. He's going to bed, and then drip, 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 and then it just builds from there. Like it's a slow start, and it just builds to the point at the end where it's just it gets a little crazy. So, let me see what else is here. Now, apologies, guys, because there's so many questions, we may not get to all of them. But hey, if you guys like the live stream idea, we'll do more.
Can I shout out somebody here that is a really nice comment? Superman Prime. I like how Man and Superman is
man.
Superman Prime. Manny,
Prime.
I really appreciate what you bring, putting a name to obscure music bits everyone knows but can't name. Hey, thank you, Superman Prime. It's a learning experience for me because there was like so many times I'm like, while doing the research, like, oh, that's the name of that cue. Some of them I already knew, but there's like a bunch of them that I'm like, oh, so now I finally have a name to that melody. And for the songwriters themselves, it's a lot of musicology stuff that I geek out over. And it drives Anthony crazy because it takes me forever to do the research and I record long-winded rants. But I'm glad you enjoy it. It's worth all his suffering.
Yeah,
I wish I knew more of the names for the Call Stalling originals.
And I've said this in some of my Manny's Music Times SC, but the way that I think I need to do it is I was actually yesterday when I was singing one of the masses at my friend, hi Carl, if he's watching, Carl Patrick Balea.
Not stalling.
He has a doctorate in music. But there's days that I think about whether or not I should just get my terminal degree in music, get a PhD or DMA, Doctor of Musical Arts. And if I do musicology, it would be a PhD. And for me, that would help justify me going to the Warner Archives in California as part of the research, because obviously I got to shout out the brilliant, Dr. Daniel Goldmark, because a lot of what I do is based off his initial research. But especially, I mean, like, when he wrote the Tunes for Tunes, and a lot of his research was done in the late 90s and the early 2000s. And now it would be great if, let's say, I get to go to the Warner Archive and I could actually scan the copies of the cue sheets themselves so that I can actually put names to the Carl Stalling originals, because in Tune for Tunes, he has the cues for, I think, Bugs Bunny Rides Again. And it not only lists, the stuff from Rossini and the stuff from J.S. Mechnik, but it says blah, 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 cue. It has, like, a generic name like Horse Running by Carl Stalling, because I want to know the names of that, or I want to be able to catalog them on my phone, for example. I told Anthony this, and I think Matt too. I told you where there's that particular cue that
Yeah, that one. I was thinking that's the one I
Carl
wanna know.
Stalling cue that's in a wild hair, and
a
there's
bunch of
another one
others.
that's a variation to it. Ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-da-da-da-da-dum, that
Yeah.
I always think
Or
of,
the Yosemite
Porky-
Sam dancing down the mine shaft. It was called like an Untitled Soft Shoe or something like that.
Soft shoe routine, or
which I'm not doing on the live stream. Okay,
Oh,
I'm not
man.
gonna. It's not that
But-
kind of live stream.
But that other one before, like, I have the da-dun, like, I think of Porky's baseball broadcasts. Actually, let me check. I have them right here.
Yeah, it's
Let's
on.
see.
That cue was on there. I think that Stalling cue.
Yeah, I even wrote that Stalling cue in big letters. Yeah, Alibaba Bound, Wild Hair, Two's a Crowd, The Chewin' Bruin, Rabbit Seasoning, and Cheese Chasers. And then the other da-dun, 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 that was also in Porky's Hired Hand.
Yeah.
The
And that
Freeling,
was
I guess, got a love
that
for
was
that.
confirmed as a Stalling original, really. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I like Wit's Brain right here. I mean, I wish I had this kind of power, but he goes, please use your cartoon industry power broker connections to get Thad K and Bob Jacques to restart their Cartoon Logic podcast. I'll say this. I'll say that their podcast is brilliant. Okay,
Phenomenal podcast.
If you guys haven't actually seen what they've done, definitely go and do it.
Fantastic.
Because with the stuff I do, with you guys joining in, of course, it's designed more for the mass. It's more mass appeal, mass audience, or at least people that can stand my Aussie accent. But
and we do for fun.
But folks like in this case, Thad K and Bob Sharks, what they do is kind of like for the next level. I think it's similar to what Devin Baxter does on his, hi Devin, if you're watching, similar to what he does on his, animated breakdown stuff, whatever. It's the next level. So, I wish I had that thing to get 3-star, but as far as I'm aware, like I don't know Thad personally, but as far as I'm aware, he's a busy bee. He's working on a lot of stuff involving restorations, involving the Fleischer stuff, which looks phenomenal. I'm sure you all can agree that the end result of a lot of those restorations is just phenomenal.
Thad took a dream and made it happen.
Yeah.
I've known Thad since we were both in, and Manny, I think you came along about the same time with the Golden Age cartoons, Termite Terrace Trading Post, the forums. And we were all like, we were all like high school age at the time, and Thad is the only one of us who's written a book. He wrote a book about Ren and Stimpy, and it's actually probably the best book ever written about Ren and Stimpy. I think there may have been one or two others about Nickelodeon and all of that, but he went and talked to everybody except I think John Kay, who didn't want anything to do with a book about Ren and Stimpy, and of course now we know why. But he talked to all the other good people that worked on Ren and Stimpy, and it's well worth a read. It's fascinating, and he made a lot of friends in the industry by doing that, including Bob Jakes, who he did that podcast with. And I hope he does more of it because I loved it.
Is it Jakes or Jocks?
It's Bob Jakes.
Jake.
See, Jake is how you pronounce it. Yeah.
It's Kern stupid. Like,
Ooh, he card reads good.
Ask Dr. Stupid.
Yes. Exactly. So apologies.
With your host, Dr. Stupid.
You idiot.
My apologies to Bob if you, in the off chance you are watching this. I apologize for mispronouncing your surname. I mean, I know the feeling because everyone mispronounces mine. Let me have a look. What other Manny, like, oh, geez, this is your name twice, Manny. So this must be
Manny, Mister. Take these broken wings. No.
And now the video's flagged. Let's see.
What are your thoughts, real quick? I couldn't stand it as a kid, but I'm more open to Bill Lava's music now. But his stuff is based more on 20th century compositional styles, whereas Stalling and Milt Franklin were more inspired by the Romantic period and more quote unquote classical, even though that word is used liberally. But yeah, like when I hear Lava scores, it's, I'm thinking of like when I took Music History 3 and listening to stuff from Schoenberg and Berg, and not my cup of tea. And once I revisit those shorts again, I might have to, I mean, he was a good composer. I mean, clearly he knew what he was doing, but he was more influenced by 20th century composition, whereas Stalling and Franklin were more, 19th century-ish.
I think it's crazy that Charles Stalling outlived Milt Franklin and Bill Lava.
Yeah, that's
because Lava died like in 70, which I think it's crazy. I would have loved to have known a bit more about Bill Lava and his style. He wasn't a good Looney Tunes composer, but he was a good composer.
Yeah, exactly. He knew what he was doing, but he wasn't the right person for for those cartoons.
Well,
Anything else
Eugene
he would have,
Pudgamy.
he was great
I
with.
I saw one question about it. Someone legit, and I'm thinking, wow, an actual cartoon research question of cartoon research. I mean, heaven forbid. I mean, I remember how many people posting, do you think Penelope's hot? You got variation of 20.
Well, that's the hottest Looney Tune character after Gossamer. Clearly.
exactly. No, but a legit question was why, after Milt Franklin suddenly passed, and obviously Carl Stalling had retired, why did they go with Bill Lava, whose style was just completely different? And it was a good question. I don't think anyone had anything definitive, but if I was to guess, it's more just an evolution
He was
of
available.
music.
He was
his availability.
Eugene Pudgamy would have been the more ideal choice because he was another Stalling person that he came under.
Yeah.
He was interesting.
I think it's because Lava was under contract with Warner Brothers already. He was there. It was like, who can we get to do it? Okay, well, we got this guy who's scoring some of our TV shows. I know he did a lot of the music for F Troop and some of the TV shows, and so he was just there. And I think it was also Friz Freeling knew him because he had done some work for DePatie Freeling. He was the one who adapted Henry Mancini's score from the Pink Panther. And he did a lot of work on those DePatie Freeling cartoons. So there was a connection. He'd done cartoons and they're like, well, there you go. Of course, he started doing the cartoons before the Pink Panther. I guess it was after Franklin died. He takes over in the middle of 62 or 63 when they did the Jet Cage.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Tweety cartoon where he takes over mid cartoon, and you immediately notice the difference between like Milt Franklin's kind of gentle, orchestral score, and then you get Lava comes in there and it's like screech. It's like
Yeah, that was an interesting thing. I mean,
I guess I'm thankful they didn't get Dean Elliott for them.
Oh no, yeah. Yeah, and I don't know what Chuck Jones saw in that guy because
And DePatie Freeling, I mean, he did good work on some of those Sue specials, but otherwise,
yeah.
Oh, horrible. Yeah.
So it looks like, I mean, I don't know if you guys saw that Nintendo Direct, that upcoming Looney Tunes video game, Looney Tunes Wacky World of Sports. I think that looks interesting. I might pick it up and, hey, it's a streaming idea, I suppose. You see me like try to be one of the cool kids and stream video games. It's like, are you streaming Call of Duty? Nah, I'm streaming Looney Tunes Wacky World of Sports. I'll get a few kills by using some oversized cannons on the basketball court. You know what I'm saying? Looks interesting. I'll reserve.
It's a tie-in for the Olympics, I believe. Warner's is using the Looney Tunes for the French Olympics this year.
The Olympics are on? No, of course. Manny, I'm not in that much in the bubble. Okay, musically yes, but I know of the Olympics. Okay, it's just about everywhere here. Let me have a look. I'm just seeing which questions also appropriate because some not as appropriate. I think. Let's see here. Yeah. Sick Little Monkeys is that book that Thad K wrote, and I actually spoke with Thad K once on one of the podcast things I did with Austin Kelly and Trevor Thompson, and I got to say to Thad, hey, I loved your book. It was fantastic, and I was someone that looked up to John Kay and I bought into that story. The whole thing that ended up being mostly a myth, anyway. But but when I read the book, it just opened my eyes, and I'm like, this actually explained a lot. Like it explained a lot.
I'm not laughing at what you said. I just saw a comment that made me laugh. It was Huago, I guess that's how you would say it. Whenever I hear Bill Lava's music, I feel like I'm watching a weather report. Bump, bum, 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 bum. I'm thinking of now hear this. Bump, bum, 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 cloudy.
There's one of these cues I'm thinking of, but I can't say what it reminds me of.
Or what about
I feel like I'm watching some preschool program.
Yes, that's a classic. I do like that cue.
The Roadrunner. Well,
like that one
if you
Roadrunners
don't
that
like it, you're
sounds
not going to
saucy.
like any of the other ones because you reuse that same score for like 12 cartoons over and
Yep.
over and over again.
And you changed my mind, actually, Matt, when you posted something a while back about Chimpanzee, which I hadn't seen since sometime on Nickelodeon, I don't know, 1995 or whatever. But when I rewatch it, it's like he was experimenting and playing around with, more at that
More
time
modern
contemporary
sounds.
music in the this is in the late 60s we're talking about,
putting more
after
effort
the
on
British
the cartoonist.
invasion and all that. So at least he was hip to the groove, as you would say.
Mhm.
Yeah, the cartoons got worse and lava got better. It was kind of a weird thing,
I wish he didn't die in 70 so we could at least have some good cartoon thing. Maybe one of those post specials that they did.
Yeah.
Let me.
Cloudy with
I
a
mean, he
chance
did
of
good work
cool
at the
cat.
Patty.
There's a spin-off. There's a
You
spin-off
guys
right
are
there.
you're killing me with these comments. So
Yeah.
I gotta make the scene, man.
you gotta cut out, man.
I wish they could have given it a better name than Bugs Bunny's busting out all over, though.
Hi-oh!
Here we go. Here we go.
Good night, everybody.
Essie, how do you think I feel as a Ghostbusters fan now that I listen to the theme song?
I like how Justin goes, Anthony only cared about the 2000 Olympics. I don't know why. I don't know.
Where
There's some
was the
serious
2000
reasons.
Olympics? Let me see. I
Oh,
don't
come
even
on,
remember.
you know what once you see it, you'll be like, "Oh, I'm an idiot."
I know 1996 was Atlanta. I remember that.
Come on.
Oh,
Sydney.
Side Nelly.
Side
I've
knee.
never heard of it.
In 2032, guess which city won the Olympics for that year?
Melbourne,
Brisbane.
Elizabeth?
Or you guys say Brisbane.
Brisbane, Elizabeth, Brisbane. I know. Well, you taught me correctly because I told you, but I might as well say that. Where I went to undergrad, Montclair State University, my choral director is Heather Buchanan, who's from Brisbane, Queensland, Australia, not Brisbane. I probably heard her say Brisbane back in the day. I just didn't remember. So, and Melbourne, not Melbourne, Melbourne.
Think of.
I joke about the Olympics, but I think FIFA's holding the World Cup at like Clifton or something next year.
The World Cup's going to be. I was actually in Clifton today. That's where I did a concert. But
I was almost in Clifton.
It's going to be at the Clifton Commons. So you know what? Go to Applebee's and Barnes and Noble.
Oh, dear.
American Dream. Ugh. Xanadu.
Yeah, like soccer, or we call it soccer in America. Everybody else calls it football. And
in
then,
America, we call it soccer.
But then in the Latin American countries, they don't call it soccer or football. It's football.
Football.
And
I mean, as the token Hispanic of the chat,
and the only reason you're here.
Yeah, I'm a diversity hire. Thanks.
Yeah, clearly. No.
But like culturally, ironically, I'm terrible at the sport. But having family from the Caribbean, Puerto Rico, and Cuba, baseball's our thing. But like other, South America, Central America, it's all football. But for us, it's baseball. Pelotero.
Baseball, yeah.
Well, Pelotero's a baseball player, but
don't worry, man.
Yet I struck out in T-ball. Was that?
I'm Italian and don't eat pizza. Don't feel like you're as big as a traitor as me.
I'm making up for your lack of pizza. Trust me, I had too much last week.
I'm sorry.
I'm trying to cut back.
Atsamada for you. Atsamada for you.
Hey.
See that he got SC got kicked out of the chat because he doesn't like pizza.
That's right. No, I legit didn't kick him out. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's. But the thing is, we also call it soccer because our version of football is the Australian Football League, and just type it in on YouTube, and you can see how insane it is. It's a game that combines elements of basketball, rugby, American football, soccer. Pretty much, it's just this massive mishmash of different styles, and it's pretty much the only game I follow because of how fast paced it is. Not cricket, which, as Rob Williams famously said, is like baseball and Valium.
You got to understand the crumpet to understand cricket. First Ninja Turtles movie reference. And I was going to say, I guess Australian football is like a platypus, just mix things up.
Ooh.
Ooh, it's the platypus of sports.
And
Y'all ever heard Robin Williams stand up about golf and how golf was created?
Yes, from a drunken game. Yes, I still have that. I was one of the lucky people that got to see him live a couple of years before he tragically passed. He came to Melbourne for a show, and I said to my wife, we have to go. Like in the opening act were this pair of Australian comedians, the Umbilical Brothers. I don't know if you guys heard of them. The Umbilical Brothers, no. Look them up if you. Yeah, anyway, hilarious. So he then comes on, he does his Australian bit, then he does his regular routine, and man, Rob Williams I actually got a t-shirt from the show, and it's just his head on the belly, like he's ripping out from the t-shirt, and I was like, I had to buy that shirt. I don't care if it's $50, I'm buying it, and I still have it somewhere. I'm just in the process of slowly moving house, and a lot of things are packed up at the moment. Let me have a look here, but I think I had a point somewhere. It's like, what's the point of this story? I like
stories.
Oh dear!
Come on, we got it. More Simpsons references or your money back.
Here we go. New Looney Tunes short pitch: Bugs Bunny versus Crocodile Anthony. Oh, all right.
Is it going to be like you as like a parody of the Crocodile Hunter, or is it going to be a crocodile that you voice and has like your glasses and all that and whatnot? So
crocodile wearing glasses. Now that's just too far, Manny. That's just too far.
A crocodile with glasses. That's where I draw. So so you're telling me that they're gonna make, I guess, a cartoon version of me as a bald pigeon, so with glasses, and I'm gonna say that's too Koala Anthony.
Oh no! Great, you're gonna give some Looney Tunes. Oh, here we go. Someone's coming back.
Oh no!
He's paid. He's paid for his sin.
I saw some some comments on the right hand side here that I'm looking at. They're talking about like Woody Woodpecker cartoons. And there were some comments earlier before I jumped on here about like good versus bad Woody Woodpecker. I'm like 40s and 50s are really good. 60s and 70s run. And I don't mean run them as in play them. I mean run away.
That's why I said hidden message. That's why I said I get what you were saying.
Return.
But somebody somebody was asking favorite Woody Woodpecker cartoon. I think my favorite is the Convict Concerto. Manny, have you seen that one?
I haven't gotten around to it yet, but I've heard many good things about it. And thank you for pronouncing it correctly. Not concerto, it's concerto.
Concerto. But it's Woody Woodpecker is a piano tuner. And he's in a piano shop. He's in a music shop, and he's doing his job. And it was like 1954 or 5, I think. So at that point, it's Grace Stafford, Walter Lance's wife, had taken over the voice. He was doing it. Yeah. But and he's like and this burglar who's on the lam with a sack of money. Shows up in the piano shop. He's trying to hide. He hides in the piano that Woody Woodpecker is working on. And he's like, start playing, or dun 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 dun. And Woody starts playing the Hungarian Rhapsody that we've heard a million times in the Friends List tune. And the cop shows up, and the cop is like oblivious, and he's stupid. He's sniffing around. He's looking for the sack of money. He actually snorts a dollar bill like up his nose. He doesn't even notice it. And Woody Woodpecker says, "There's the dough, the dough." And then the gangster pulls out a gun on him, and he looks at it. He's like, "Oh, dough, de dough, de dough, de dough, de dough, dough, de dough."
Connect this to all this. That was written by Hugh Harman.
Yeah, exactly. Hugh Harman, I guess, was I don't know what
he's
he was
down on his luck.
Down on his luck, exactly, and he ended up being the writer of that, and it's obvious because it's a musical piece. There's hardly any real dialogue to it. It's a whole musical
he
thing.
and Lance worked together on a year on Oswald before Lance took over the full series.
Yeah, but there's even a bit of it
between harmonizing and Lance to take over the series.
Yeah, but there's even a bit in the cartoon that almost reminds me of those train track chases, from the 30s with like Oswald and Bosco, that he did. But with the train, the piano ends up on a train, and it gets crazier every time. But that's the one that I'm like, okay, that's a good Woody Woodpecker cartoon, and part of it is because there's less of Woody Woodpecker in it. It's just he's the character. It's not his personality. It's just Woody. Woody is just the object. He's the catalyst for what happens.
It's better than Woody's Magic Touch with that singing hippie. I don't need shoes, don't need money.
I definitely want to start looking at some of those, and just I'm trying to broaden my horizons. It's just that the few I've seen just didn't wow me. Maybe I just saw the wrong ones.
I like that Woody never cares in the 40 ones. Like he does not care about anything. He doesn't care about what he does to other people. He's put up against the law in several of them.
Matt, you just reminded me. There was one Tom and Jerry short involving music that's it's got one of the funniest bits when involving music in any anime short, in my opinion. Right, like Your Heart and Mouse. Okay. When Tom is like, okay, he realizes, I got to have the music play. The mouse comes out, so he gets the book, 6 easy lessons to play the waltz. And it's like lesson 1, it's like one note, dun. Lesson 2, dun dun, and then he goes to lesson 6, and he just goes dun 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 dun. Grabs the book, smiles. He's proud of himself. He throws the book away, and then he just starts playing. Dun, dun,
if only
dun.
I could.
And I'm like, wow, that's some lesson.
Yeah, like the book taught him that quick, huh?
It's like, wow, that's a means to an end, the story wise. But you can do anything in a cartoon, But that scene, like, it was funny as a kid, but it was even funnier now as an adult rewatching it, and I was just in hysterics. So, wow,
pretty much anytime a classic cartoon character reads a book, it's classic. There's always a gag, and there are people who have posted it on Facebook and stuff where screenshots of books in cartoons, and
you need to make a copybook of all those.
You really could, if all else fails, bottoms up. Yeah.
I like how the comments have come through. So Justin writes, what are your thoughts on the Turner computer colorized shorts? Then his next one is a reply to somebody else saying, hopefully the MGM text shorts. And then your comment is, no, they need to be deleted. When I first saw that, it looked like you were replying that the MGM text shorts should be deleted.
No, I'm not Zaglab. I want to delete the right files. I want to delete those colorized files.
Look, for me, they're just fascinating in terms of the technology at the time, how they actually did the computer colorization, but no, they should stay black and white as they originally were made. Because in some shorts, like the case of the Stuttering Pig, color ruins it. It's designed for black and white, full stop. There's just no ifs and buts about it.
I'm trying to convince my college to let me borrow the auditorium for one day so I could just screen a bunch of shorts on the big screen.
Not the redrawn stuff, right? You just have
it would be a lot of those passions. It would be some of those Popeyes, like A Dream Walking.
So just the public domain stuff, huh?
Those Turner colorizations of Popeye, by the way, they were not computer colorized. They were actually done, the way they had been done back in the late 60s that Warner Brothers did, and they were redrawn in South Korea, I think it is. Yeah. And when I saw them, when I first saw Popeye when I was a kid, it was really bad prints of the 50s famous Popeye alongside those colorized Turner abominations of the Fleischer cartoons. And I didn't like Popeye for that very reason, because I thought, this sucks. This is terrible. This is bad animation. This is just repetitive. This is terrible. And then there was a show called Late Night Black and White on Cartoon Network.
I remember.
And I discovered the original versions of Popeye, the Fleischer classics from the 30s, in original black and white, and I was blown away. I was like, why would they redo these? And the answer was Ted Turner was kind of he was a media mogul, and he listened to all the execs at the time, and they said, well, black and white TV is ratings poison, I believe is the word. They said, kids won't watch black and white. And they were trying to aim the old cartoons at kids. And so they said, well, we got to colorize these. And at the time, I guess they thought, oh, this is revolutionary. This is going to change everything. And now kids are going to watch these old cartoons again. And they look so terrible. And they used really bad prints of them. They didn't even go back to Paramount to get the negatives or anything like that. They just used the old AAP, hand-me-down prints that Turner owned, and they sent them over to Korea and had them redone. And I'm looking at those as a kid, and I'm thinking, this is terrible. And then I look at the original, and I'm like, this is brilliant. This is wonderful. Yeah. I'm like, why would anybody change that? And I never thought, as a kid, watching a black and white cartoon was old or bad or anything like that. I liked the Porky Pig stuff on Nickelodeon. I liked Bosco. I didn't think they were bad. So I'm like, I don't know what kids they were polling at the time, because I don't know anybody who hated that stuff. Anybody.
My kids watched the old, black and white stuff, and they never really asked. In fact, they didn't ask about the black and white. They only asked why was it square and not, obviously widescreen. Fair question. I explained to them, and they were like, oh, okay, and we moved on. But actually, if you watch the second Gremlins movie, they kind of parody that whole thing about color, black and white. I think there was one scene where it's like, hey, I've got all these, we can show all this old classic black and white, and the host, the horror TV host, is like, oh no, he only wants it in color or something. I haven't seen it in a long time.
There's a gag in the Looney Tunes, in like the Bugs Bunny comic strip, where Daffy comments about computer colorization in 1987. And he's like, I'm going to make one adjustment. I'm going to replace all the Bugs cartoons and make me the Thar.
Oh, wow.
That's a funny gag.
Oh, dear. So any other questions? Guys, because we'll slowly but surely wind this one down. But, so you guys like the Chuck Jones video? Because the biggest shock for me with when it came out, I was like, oh yeah, I'll put it out, and that's been my most successful video to date. It's like in 2 days, nearly 4,000 views. I'm like, wow, okay, so I guess people like it, I mean, unfortunately, I had to cut one bit, and that was about the Grinch. So,
you're a mean one, Warners.
I could have had it on there, but I just couldn't monetize the video. Waters would have taken the money, so it's like, nah.
I think you made the right choice, because look at what you're getting, 40 cents.
Woo! 40 cents can buy many peanuts. Just like
explain how.
40 cents can buy many peanuts. Actually, just probably small handful, whatever.
40 cents circa 1940. Yeah.
Because I'm sure there's not much prejudice against black and white anymore. I think the prejudice now is for, cropping for widescreen. Like, you've got classic shows that were made for the square format, the 4:3 format. They're now cropping it. Simpsons is probably a good example, where the older seasons, they were remastered, but they were cropped. But you can watch the other stuff on Disney, but like in the proper thing, but they're not remastered. So it's like, all right. Whatever.
I think the worst victim of that is a show I grew up watching, was Garfield.
Yeah,
and Friends.
I was about to say Garfield had the worst cropping ever.
Oh man! Well, they not only cropped it, but they went and reanimated badly the openings to it. I'm like, why would you
only
do
find it
that?
on tape? They only were able to find it on tape, and it's like, why bother? You could it will look fine either way.
Yeah.
Just do a quick AI upscale on it, and put it on the front of the show. Nobody watches the intro to any show, anything now on streaming. skip to the show. And why would you just ruin the opening and crop it badly? I mean, why not just leave it as it was? I don't get it.
Yeah.
So I've got like 4 of the 5 volumes on DVD of that show. I don't exactly watch them all the time, but I have them, and I'm not gonna upgrade to something that's butchered.
Yeah. 100%. I haven't watched that show in so many years. I wouldn't mind just giving it another look, and those Phil Roman specials as well. I mean, I haven't seen those in so long. But with cropping, the worst victims are MASH. They remastered it in HD, but it's been cropped. Seinfeld. That's another one. I think Friends, they did that. I mean, I hate Friends, but still, it's got its fans, and they should.
I hate Friends too.
Yeah,
but they cropped Seinfeld.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
What's the deal with that?
Yeah, because Seinfeld had. I'm not a big fan of that show, but I've watched it enough to know that there's a lot of stuff that goes on in the background. They have stuff that happens kind of that is outside of the main action. They put background stuff in there, so if they cropped it, you're probably losing some of that stuff. That's bad.
Yeah,
that's bad.
I watched Seinfeld. I enjoyed it, but probably not to the level like some people like like me, Manny, and that are obsessed with Simpsons. But hey, to each their own. There was another show, but yeah, there was this whole thing that was happening where they were cropping a lot of the 90s and sometimes even 80s shows into widescreen. So that's like the new colorization, which is cropping things, and hopefully they'll put an end to that, because that's
quit it. Stop.
Exactly. Let's see. Best regards for everything moving forward. Thank you, Robbie I Kenobi. There we are. I'm assuming you're a Star Trek fan. Kidding. Can Manny do New York accent from the Porky Chops review?
Oh, what's
Butter up, fat boy.
I'm trying to remember what he say. SC. Well,
butter up, fat boy.
He keeps calling Porky fat throughout the whole thing.
Hey, fat boy, what are you doing over there?
Yeah,
he had like the Brooklyn Dodgers. What did I call him? I think I called him Zoot Suit Squirrel or something like that in the commentary. I got to do the rest of this live stream talking like this.
Resolve like that job myself.
Yeah, we're both from Tri-State. We know that well.
Yeah, oh God.
Yeah.
Cease the chop, chubby. Blow, Joe.
Hello.
Hit the road.
Hit the road.
That's Manny when he's stuck in traffic, just yelling at people. He talks like that. I
also yell out, like, out of my way, jerk ass.
Actually, Steven makes a good point. It used to be that widescreen movies that got cropped as well. I remember the movies. I used to tape on VHS, or they're always cropped. And I remember it was actually a novelty. Like Star Wars, they released on VHS, but there was a widescreen version. So, and I was like, I had to buy the widescreen version. And when I watched it, I was just blown away. I never saw it like that before. Then they did the theatrical special editions and so on. I got to see it on the big screen. Let me see what else.
Also, in honor of Manny and his contributions, Blackberry's pie. No. You have blackberry pie? Case of the missing hair. That's one of the earliest shorts I remember watching.
Mm-hmm. Will Jerry Beck or McKimson Jr. return? I mean, McKimson Jr., I'd like to chat with him again. We'll be up to Camden. He can help me make that happen. He was a very lovely man. Jerry Beck, having spoken with him, lovely. He was on the first 250 Looney Tunes. And I think there's a question way back. Well, am I doing a follow-up? And I want to. And now I've got the means to do it more efficiently. So maybe. I've actually did record something with Keith Scott on that. So I can use that. But the thing is, Jerry Beck's busy right now, really busy.
Yeah.
Because I heard rumors of some kind of a TV channel,
What?
Yeah.
What?
I mean, it's hard enough for me, Manny, Anthony to figure out how to do Art Davis. We've been playing it forever.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We got to do that. Matt, well, I mean, what are your thoughts on that new channel coming up? I mean, like, are you gonna get what you are?
Oh yeah, no, I think I can get it on antenna, like over the air where I am, but I don't have an antenna. I have cable, and so I don't get that. But I get the Friendly TV app, so I can stream it, and I'm looking forward to it. And you know, I co-run with Thad and with John Cook. We have this Facebook group about MeTV when they do their Tune In With Me and their Saturday morning cartoon shows. And so we've now expanded it to include MeTV Tunes as well. And I know there's a couple of other groups even that have started up about MeTV Tunes before the show, before the channel's even premiered. And to me, I just see in some of those other groups, our group kind of moderates them and edits them out. But why isn't this show or this cartoon on this channel? And I'm like, will you stop whining? Nobody wants filmation crap. Nobody.
Hold on, guys. I'm in requesting the Gary Coleman show to be shown on the MeTV Tunes, and I'd like to see the Rubik's Cube show make a glorious comeback, which aired sometime in 1981.
Gary
if I'm not
Coleman
mistaken.
show has one of the craziest stories behind it. When the overseas got back, it initially had Gary Coleman as white, and they didn't have the refixed versions until they had them less than 48 hours before airing the fixed versions.
Oh no.
Well, back in the early days of the internet, when we had just forums, there was no, Facebook or anything. Social media, such as it was forums, and we did this thing where we were like, "What is the worst cartoon we can think of?" And we changed the title of our forum, which was the Termite Terrace Trading Post.
Oh, right, the gag. I remember that.
For an April Fool's gag, we changed it to the Gary Coleman Show Trading Post. And for April 1st, for like 24 hours, we would not allow any comments or talk about anything except the Gary Coleman Show. And it was one of those things that one of us had discovered, because Cartoon Network used to air kind of rare, really interesting stuff late at night. And we would tape it on folks. It was called a VCR. You remember that? And we'd set a timer and we'd catch something. And at one point they were running these like really bad Hanna-Barbera cartoons. And one of them was this Gary Coleman cartoon, because I guess that was a Different Strokes. I think he was on back in the, late 70s, early 80s. And so they did this cartoon about Gary Coleman, and we just, why don't we change it to the Gary Coleman Trading Post for 24 hours for April Fool's Day? And it blew people's, but it blew people's minds. People are like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
I made a boo-boo. I actually had to look it up, but I think I said the Gary Coleman Show or something like. Gary Coleman was Hanna-Barbera. Did I say Gary Coleman, or did somebody else did? I
said Gary Coleman. I might be thinking of someone else.
Okay, and I did say Rubik's. To see, now I got to know, because I know some nerd's gonna go ballistic on us. Like, no, actually.
Okay, so there was an animated Gary Coleman.
Yeah, and the Gary Coleman Show was Hanna-Barbera, but like I'm trying to think of like Filmation in particular. I know like they did like the Super
I think it was relevant when you guys would have done that, because in the early 2000s that Broadway play Avenue Q had him as a character, as this washed out child star.
Oh, no.
Filmation did Fat Albert, He-Man,
Tom and Jerry Comedy Show.
Yeah, the Tom and Jerry. The bad Tom and Jerry. Yeah. They did the the Groovy Ghoulies. I mean,
the 19
Duck Meet Them.
They did the actually a little trivia. I mean, I'm assuming you guys know, but Ghostbusters, one of my favorite things in the world, is not the original Ghostbusters. There was a show that Filmation made in 1975 called The Ghostbusters, featuring related to Looney Tunes. Forrest Tucker and Larry Storch, who did voices on the 7 Art shorts. And when they were making the 84 classic, in the scene where they're chanting for the Ghostbusters to go up to Central Park West, they made a phone call to Columbia. It's like, whatever you do, get the rights to the name of it. And they secured the rights. They worked out a deal with Filmation, and then the movie was a success. And then they were planning on making the cartoon based off the film. And then Filmation's like, whoa, we allowed you to do a film, but we didn't allow you to use the name for a cartoon. So I didn't know about this until years later, but there was 2 Ghostbuster cartoons. Yeah, because there's the real Ghostbusters, which is based off the 84 film. And then there's the Filmation Ghostbusters, which is a continuation, spin-off, sequel, whatever you want to call it, from the 1975 show that nobody remembers, that only had 13 episodes. And the main characters of that show are the sons of the characters that Forrest Tucker and Larry Storch played. And then they use the same gorilla from this. It's just as old. And I've seen bits of it. The theme song's a little catchy. Go, go, Ghostbusters. Let's go. Go, go. And the one from the 75 version, the theme song is just schlocky as can be, but I dig it. I like a little schlock here and there.
Yeah.
And there was
also
somebody
sued over
earlier that
Ghostbusters.
mentioned.
Oh, yeah, second banana, my boy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Busted
Harvey
makes
Comics
me
sued
feel
Columbia
good.
over Ghostbusters because they thought that the ghost in the logo looked too close to the ghostly trio, and the court just said there's too few ways to draw ghosts. Cut it out.
Yeah, and has someone done like a crossover thing where they get the Ghostbusters live action footage and they put the Ghostbusters the animated theme over it? So, I mean, I'm sure someone's done it.
And I was just thinking the Larry Storch connection, and I'm thinking like, Merlin the Magic Mouse and his second banana, like in Ghostbusters. It's like, yeah, second banana, my boy, and don't cross the streams.
Oh, yes. Important safety tip.
banana,
Important safety tip. Second banana. Oh, yes. Thanks, Egon. Extreme Ghostbusters. I see Justin mention it. I watched Extreme Ghostbusters as a kid. Like waking up on, for school days or whatever. Like there are certain shows that I remember vividly, like waking up to in the 90s back in the day. I remember Extreme Ghostbusters, watching that, getting ready for school. I remember watching Garfield. And I actually didn't know till years later, because I know we're ready to party, we're ready. I knew that theme song, but there was another one I think during season 1, which I had no idea existed until a few years ago. And another show that
it stuck so bad that they replaced it for most of the time when it was rerun.
Disco Droopy. Disco Droopy.
Disco Droopy.
I'm glad to get woogie woogie.
Oh no!
Yeah, that's why
Filmation Droopy is what that was. That was terrible.
I can't support MeTV Tunes unless they have Disco Droopy in it in 4K quality. I'm sorry guys, but I'm out. And
woogie woogie.
And the whole run of Yo Yogi, we need that, of course.
Yo Yogi.
Oh God, no.
SC, you were. I guess I don't know if you're either fortunate or unfortunate that you did not.
Fortunate.
Okay, but you missed out on Yogi. Holy cow.
It has to be some big joke with them Warners, because I don't think they've done anything with it outside of maybe reruns in the 90s. I don't think.
Oh my god!
I know Essie's going to.
I don't think that thing.
Essie will cosplay as Yo Yogi. I think with that tie and that stupid
Cartoon Network never reran that show. It was on like it was a Saturday morning thing. And it was a tie-in with I remember because I was a kid in I was born in 84. So I think the show ran in like 91 or 92. So I definitely remember it was aimed at my age group. And it was a tie-in with stuff you'd put in your lunchbox, like Capri Sun fruit drinks and stuff like that. If you bought certain things, you got the 3D glasses and you could watch the 3D segment on Yo Yogi. And I remember I watched it one time and I hated it because I was like, well, this isn't Yogi Bear. Because I knew Yogi Bear from Nickelodeon. They were running the old ones, the old 60s cartoon. So I'm like, Yogi Bear, hey, boo-boo, And,
Hey, you gotta get your 3D glasses, boo-boo. Hey.
boo-boo.
and I don't remember. I don't remember if it was Dawes Butler was still alive and they sped up his voice to make it sound younger, or if it was somebody else doing it, but it didn't sound like Yogi. It was terrible.
I'm looking it up now. It was Greg Burson who did Yogi in the show.
Okay.
I'm looking.
Well,
I'm
it was
looking
bad.
too.
Whoever it was.
Apparently, Boomerang ran Yo Yogi last year. I guess that's why they're.
God.
I guess that's why they're launching MeTV Tunes to kill it since they ran Yo Yogi.
If I'm able to, but I probably can't because of rights issues or whatever. But maybe I'll do this on Twitch or whatever. Maybe I should do like a charity thing where I raise money. But what I do is I spend the whole day watching all 13 episodes of Yo Yogi one after another.
And you'll be like the one man Beavis and Butthead, you know. Hey, yeah.
Can we use hurtful language if you do that?
This sucks.
This sucks, Beavis.
This fucks, Beavis.
I gotta make sure I have my 3D glasses.
Us millennials are scarred for life from Yo Yogi and
I feel bad for Earl Kress. He wrote like 2 or 3 episodes of this show.
Oh,
Oh.
you know what now, Matt, that you meant, because I'm looking at the Wikipedia article. It says Yo Yogi featured episodes with Kellogg's Rice Krispies offering. Because the show was on in 91, and 91 I was 3, but I vaguely remembered like that whole gimmick with the 3D glasses and everything. So wow, you just flashed me back years ago.
It was a tie-in with again with multiple food products, like you bought
I guess Rice Krispies
cereal
was the main one.
or cereal or fruit juice, or there was something else you could get.
Something with sugar in it.
Yeah, something bad for you. Yeah,
I guess
exactly.
I was trying to get you to addict you to go watch that show.
Yeah,
That's right. You're so hyped up for Yo Yogi. Oh. But look, I mentioned it before.
I'm seeing this one person. I would be sad if Boomerang dies. I honestly think that's going to happen because they got rid of the guy who's been curating it for the past 18 months, and they're replacing this stuff. I think they're trying to kill it with MeTV Tunes, if I'm honest.
Yeah, it seems like
as well they should, because it hadn't been good for 20 years or however long it's been around. Like the first 3 years, it was really interesting. Like it was all the stuff that Cartoon Network didn't show anymore, but you had to pay extra for it, and most people didn't. And Boomerang was a good idea at the time, but they never reached potential with it.
They just put everything on there and then they just let it die like that. I guess you would say
it was terrible. And the streaming service is actually pretty good, but unless they're going to upgrade everything to HD like they're doing for this channel, what's the point? I mean, exactly. I think they're going to kill the Boomerang brand. I think they really are. And honestly, I would not hesitate to dance on its grave and be like, sorry. This is better.
Yeah. It's at its time, and things change and evolve. But yeah, no. Look, as much as I don't watch live TV anymore, that new MeTV channel, it's got my full support, and I hope whatever documentaries or whatever. I think Jerry mentioned there's going to be some kind of something.
Yeah, I think it's going to be like a little Bugs documentary for the birthday this year.
Yeah,
Manny's music time on TV.
Yeah,
it's going to wear out my Roku. I already know it. I'm just going to leave it on all the time.
That's why there ain't Scooby Doo. You have to take a break.
You're going to now request your work, Matt. You're going to work from home. Bring all your equipment and then just have that channel running all the time.
Have that going. I wouldn't mind. Yeah,
it's like why am I hearing the Flintstones in the background? We're trying to negotiate something here, Matt.
So you're
right. I'm requesting. I'm requesting an itemized bill for this hospital's, this particular data service, and then all of a sudden in the background they hear, boing. Or they hear.
Best timing would be, it's like, yep, we'll send it over right away, and you hear in the background, yabba dabba doo,
yabba dabba doo,
or even better,
come on.
Matt calls in sick. He's like, "Yeah, I can't make it today. I'm not feeling too great." And then they find out that he's watching the Yo Yogi marathon on MeTV with his 3D glasses that he's kept for the past 30 years.
Or they hear in the background,
Yep. It's like, aren't you supposed to be doing work, Matt? Oh dear, that's just us. But no, look, the channel's got my full support. I just hope any new restorations, if any, that do appear, eventually go some physical media for those who can't get the channel, not just for my sake, but just in general. And any original programming, because I like to be able to watch that stuff. But yeah, it's
Somebody mentioned earlier in one of the comments. I mean, I we all have nostalgia for this one, but bring back Toonheads, and I would love if MeTV did something in that vein, or if they could resurrect, Toonheads itself. But that was such a. I mean, I started watching a lot of Toonheads right when I got into this hobby, and I joined, the Termite Terrace Trading Post and all that. But just like shows like that could continue to have that theme of bunching shows together, shorts together, and the trivia and all that would be a phenomenal idea. I mean, I don't know if they could actually call it Toonheads, but something along those veins.
I think they will probably do it down the line.
They're talking about doing something. I've seen a preview of it. It's called a Cartoon College.
These
And
little interstitials.
it's little interstitials that kind of are supposed to be paired with the shows that they're shown with. And Bob Bergen, who is the voice of Porky Pig, is doing the narration for it. He's not doing it as Porky Pig, which I think would have been cooler.
Bob Bergen?
Yeah, Bob Bergen, exactly.
Okay.
But he's the narrator of these, and they're little interstitials that go between the shows and are kind of paired with certain shows. And they were showing one that was like one with Chuck Jones and one about Speed Racer. Like they've got over 1,000 of them, is what I'm told.
Oh wow!
So yeah, and they're like 30 seconds or something, but it's like the whole channel's gonna be Toonheads, is what it sounds like to me.
Yeah,
and that's cool.
Yeah. Maybe they'll have so much stuff, and if this thing becomes really successful, they might have a spin-off channel. You never know.
Manny's Music Time.
That's
on
right.
MeTV Tunes.
That's right. And it'll be like
speak into existence.
It'll be like Krusty, where it's like 300 and something consecutive hours. It's just huge. It's just you do nothing else. You just host that one channel. I'm hosting Manny's Music Time because they won't let me stop. It's just
why aren't they showing the Shrek movies on this channel?
Oh.
Your lips to God's ears. Let's do it. Let's do it. 24-hour Shrek marathon.
The Shrekathon.
I mean, they have to have
Shrekamania.
70s Woody Woodpecker cartoons that some people love.
Check yourself before you Shrek yourself. There you go.
Ooh, very nice, very nice. But it's and I've been told that all 4 of the Shrek movies are now on 4K. And I'm thinking,
and the National Film Registry.
So I'm gonna buy that for you as a late birthday gift. Got it. There you go.
And then Christmas, and then you'll just keep
Chris, I'll buy it every single Christmas, birthday for the rest of his life. I'll just keep buying multiple copies.
And they're all dated, and jeez.
I just brought that up, Anthony, because I know how much you love Shrek.
Yeah. Oh yes, yes.
But there is one movie that came out of the whole Shrek universe, I guess you'd say, that I thought was really, really good. And it came out a couple of years ago, and it was called Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Have you seen that movie?
I've seen parts of it, and it looked really cool. I haven't gotten around to seeing all of it.
That thing is stunning. It's computer animated, but it's kind of to the next level of what actually can CGI do.
Is it like in the vein of like Spider-Verse and
Mayhem?
I was gonna say yes. Like if you like Spider-Verse, you'll love the style of this thing. And it has
Mayhem.
one of the most terrifying, creepy villains I've ever seen animated. It's the big bad wolf, because it's all in the fairy tale universe, of course. But the big bad wolf is Death. He's like the Grim Reaper, and he carries around these 2 sickles, and he's got red eyes, and he's coming after Puss in Boots because Puss in Boots has used up 8 of his 9 lives because he's a cat.
Yeah.
And it is terrifying, you know. And he says something like, you know, I am death, straight up, and I want you, Puss in Boots.
Ooh,
And it's
creepy.
just like, oh yeah. I mean, it's like, damn.
Yeah.
A great movie.
Because I've noticed the trend with CG animation, as we'll probably soon wind up a little bit. We were going on for like 2 hours, 370 hours. No, I think one of the reasons Pixar has seemingly fallen a little bit out of favor in a way is that I noticed with Spider-Verse, Ninja Turtles, and now even the Bad Guys is very similar with the way it was done, and the Puss in Boots. I'm noticing the trend, like it's similar to how the 40s animation changed to a more UPA style. I'm seeing CG animation now going more towards this. And now stuff like Pixar is seen as passe. I mean, you can argue about the end results of films like a Lightyear or whatever, but in terms of the look, I think that's where CG is now trending. We're going to have this like hybrid of CG and 2D kind of animation.
Well, Inside Out too. I mean, how incredibly well it did at the box office. They might say, well, maybe that style isn't as passe as you thought.
Oh, and it was brilliant, by the way. I saw Inside Out in the cinema, and in 3D too. It was really good. And no, it was an excellent
with the
film.
Yogi glasses.
Yeah, I couldn't find. Yeah, I couldn't find it.
Hey,
but
gentlemen, I gotta duck out for just a minute. I may be back. I may not. If I'm not, have a good evening. I've got to answer a phone call, so I gotta.
He has to duck out.
Right.
See
I'll be here all week, folks. Try the veal.
Yeah,
I guess after our joke about him working from home, he's trying to think about it seriously.
yeah, it's probably trying to call it his wake. But yeah, look, I just think for a time it was just I think Pixar was just, and even Disney was just, I don't know. There were people might be looking at them as kind of samey. And because Spider-Verse was so different, and the Ninja Turtles were so different, Puss in Boots, I think people want something different.
That happens every now and then in media.
Yeah, well, it's like the whole bean mouth animation style, which I personally don't like. But look, hey, if people like it, they like it. But it seemed that as soon as that started coming out, it seemingly everything was trying to do the bean mouth. Or Adventure Time, when that became huge, everyone tried to do Adventure Time, and I mean, I'm not judging the projects themselves, but in terms of look, as soon as someone comes up with something like that takes off, everyone just follows suit.
I mean, that's the point of animation as a business, I guess. It's just to out-copy each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Out-copy each other, stick to the trends.
We need an animated Manny's music time as well.
I'll do it.
Yeah, they could do an animated version of me. Maybe use the avatar that they that was shout out to Mint. Was it Steel?
Yeah. Mint
Steel, Mint Steel. I always forget his pseudonym, but thank you for the avatar. But maybe having that animated, and finally having a proper piano background for my theme song, because I'm like, I'm gonna do it. I can't play it that well. Dun 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 dun. I need to get one of my, because I have plenty of friends that are piano players. I already know a key it's in the general feel of it. Oh, wait.
Check out. There's a comment there. You're gonna burst in laughter, I reckon.
Just go about your daily routine like I'm not
wearing a hat.
Now I gotta buy that 10-gallon hat the next time we do a stream.
I mean, speaking of like
just
profiles, I always
purposely
have
put like a fake
I
camera
have
on
to
it.
draw my own.
Oh man, but now this is fun. I mean, look, I'm trying to think of other ideas for live streams as well. I mean, maybe I'll even do one when I'm editing live. The only thing I'm afraid of is if I'm editing live, people will be like, "You edit like that? You idiot! You could have done it like this the whole time."
Actually, Anthony, you could edit.
Yeah,
you know,
you could go like this.
mm.
I
But
look
what
like that one miscellaneous character in those Beans cartoons.
the beans, love.
Wait, what character are you talking about?
The captain's assistant in like Shanghai Shipmates.
Oh, that with the weird dude with like the
Yeah, like
googly
the
eyes
teeth.
and the buck teeth. You know,
Yeah, I have his
that
glasses
guy.
now.
Oh, he had, I have my glasses. Yeah, so I'll look.
Yeah, he had no name. I think Yelp did a whole post like, "Who is this character?"
Wow.
He was a big hit. He clearly surpassed Bugs Bunny in popularity.
Of course,
Homer,
of course.
that's a
Never even had
terrible
a
thing
name.
to say. Robbie One Kenobi is killing me tonight. How dare you exploit my love of The Simpsons?
Yes, yes,
Homer,
yes, indeed.
Homer, that's a
So-
terrible thing to say.
It's like
You do it better than the actors these days.
Oh,
yeah, that's
Julie
sorry.
Kavner.
Yeah,
Oh, too soon.
That was too
There-
low.
There was another Simpsons comment I read before from Furious Man. What's it? Furious D. That episode stunk. Saddle Sore Galactica. But anyway, Furious Man 226. Manny, after a 1980s Hanna-Barbera show airs, I can pull a better cartoon out of my. Hey, whoa, kids! Was
Well, you'll be saying it to this last comment here. How long do you think it'll take to get to those awful 1960s one? That's you'll be saying that in every single review, right?
I can pull a better cartoon out of my. Hey,
We're gonna be going really
Hey,
fast with
kids.
those.
Yeah.
They'll be like 5 minutes long.
But one thing I do want to do once I get all the redos out of the way, once I turn 50, is I do want to revisit 1947, or at least the first half of those reviews. That was the time where I had to change over to reviews, and I was still working things out, and I think I could do those a lot better. And that's I'm proud of what I've done. I'm never going to go, oh, they stunk. I just think I could
You
do
can
better.
play the piano. Sorry,
Yeah.
Robbie's killing me here.
Mm-hmm. So what I could do is I can show people how I do audio editing, where I use that dreaded word. People could be like, oh, AI. Oh, no. I use AI to auto transcribe everything. Once that's done, then I can look at things visually and go, okay, for this review, this part's redundant. This part's not. I can cut this. I can move this here, and then create this review. And and that's how I do it. It saves a lot of time. Because my position on AI, for those who are watching, is I'm for AI to make legitimately mundane tasks easier. Okay. Like legit mundane tasks, like transcribing. Like I'm not going to pay Manny $50 to transcribe a whole review, especially one that he's on.
And you know what? Now that you say that, after you told me about the program that you use for recording, and when it does a transcript, and man, when I start reading the transcript and I see how often I do vocal stops with and I'm like, oh God, that's annoying. I can only imagine when Anthony's got to deal with.
I recorded like a little piece for Into Your Dance, and I called myself sorry a few times, and I just copied Doherty. I was like, it's got me.
Yeah, don't worry. I will. I always try and refine things, and
I would rather Itchy and Scratching those 70s Lance cartoons. Furious, those things suck. I don't know why anyone liked them.
But to make things absolutely clear to everyone watching, I am anti-AI for creative output that comes from a vacuum, quote unquote vacuum. So in other words, hey, AI, draw me a picture of, I don't know, Michelangelo from the Ninja Turtles surfing at a beach, right? And then he'll just, formulate something. Like stuff out of a vacuum, I'm very much against. But stuff for mundane tasks, and other things like medical applications where AI could be useful. But a big one is that Beatles song, Now and Then. They used AI to get John Lennon's voice out of that tape. Because the tape, the reason they couldn't do it in the 90s was because John just had like a single mic. He was doing a demo, but he had the piano in the back, and they could not remove the piano. But now they can because of AI.
See, and like that, I agree with you that the technology to do that audio isolation, it just didn't exist. And it's cool that they were able to pull it up. I mean, I heard that song a few times. I mean, it was good. I mean, it definitely sounds like a Beatles tune, but it's crazy to think that something that, you know, we thought, oh, it's impossible, you know, 20, 30 years ago, now we're able to do it. And it, you know, just the progression of, got to see my bald head, but the progression of technology over the, you know, the past 20, 30 years with, you know, with AI, with broadband internet, with all these different things. I mean, I'm going through the, I still have a bunch of VHS that I found in a box, and I'm digitizing them. And it's crazy how I would have never thought that, you know, oh, the VCR doesn't work anymore, then that's it. I can't watch it. But luckily I have a VCR that works, and I'm digitizing these, you know, these old commercials and stuff that I haven't seen in 20 something years. And, you know, like I have full episodes of the Popeye show and late night black and white that I had taped from Cartoon Network around 2002, 2003 that, you know, probably down the road I'll put on my YouTube channel because I need some content. But it's insane how, you know, I don't know. Now it's just the ease of how much technology has advanced since, you know, since the time I was in middle school, high school. It's insane.
Yeah, well, one thing I just want to clarify for Wargo is it wouldn't out of a vacuum mean that it wouldn't be using images from the web. But that's why you probably didn't see it. I was doing the out of the vacuum, like as in somebody typing a prompt and with no human designing something intentionally for that end result. So basically, it's stealing from everywhere to make an image.
Yeah.
And
it looks schlocky and it makes me laugh too. I mean, especially, you know, with a lot of boomers that they'll post something. I mean, Facebook has been a cesspool for years. But like they'll post something like, oh, you know, boomers being boomers, or they'll say something, you know, like they put a picture like of something that's really passionate or polarizing to them. And it's like, you do realize it's not a real photo, right? Like, look at the background. The text says, or you look at their hands and it's like that, you know, there's like the fingers
12 fingers or something. Yeah.
I love drawing weird fingers, but I mean, it's just sloppy.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. One tip I'll give you guys and everyone watching: when you use Google, I forgot what the prompt is because I haven't used it for a while, but there is a prompt where if you do a search before I think 2022 or 2021, something like that, and exclude any result after that year, you'll exclude everything that's AI. So at least you're going to get a much cleaner output as to if you're looking for a particular image. Because some things are just get flooded with AI. Let's see. But yeah, so I'm pro AI for eliminating mundane tasks that are legitimately mundane, and I'm not even talking about typing in prompts and making a video here, like auto editing. I could technically use that with the software I've got, but I choose not to because it doesn't. The end result I just never like. It's just not good. But
it'll sound like the Homer on the what's the name of the show?
Rock Bottom.
Well, I think Rock Bottom. I think of wrestling. Rock Bottom. But yeah, Rock Bottom. You know, sweet. Just I think I'll have to do a commentary, and you have to edit it. You have AI edit it in the style of that show, and see how wonderful that'll be.
I think I'm going to do that myself as well right now.
Yeah, I actually have AI ability to do overdubbing. Okay, so if I flub one word instead of re-recording it, the AI corrects the word, and you know I'm fine with that too because it's my voice. I'm not stealing anything, right? So I'm cool with that. But I actually tried as an experiment. I wrote like 2 paragraphs of a script, and I can highlight that and get AI to say the whole thing. So that's why if you watch some videos that sound weird in terms of the voice, that's probably what they're doing. So I'm listening to it, and it's so bad. It's like I'm doing a Tex Avery script, and I'll get the script out.
I'm gonna dip now. Have a good night, you two.
Yes. Thanks for jumping on. We'll certainly do it.
I'll have some pizza right now. See you guys.
Ooh.
Yes. See you later, dude.
See ya. But I'll do the script quickly. I'll let you know. It's just loading. Okay, so pretty much okay. So the beginning part of the video is going to be, Tex Avery is a name that even people who aren't familiar with animation history would most likely know. So that line would come across as something like, Tex Avery is a name that even people who aren't familiar with animation history would most likely no. That's how it sounds like, and I'm like, this is awful. You know, fixing one or two words here and there is okay because it blends in. But when you're getting AI to write everything and sound everything, it's just awful. You know, yeah.
I played around with Chat GPT for the first time a few months ago, and I was just doing stuff like, what is, I was asking Chat GPT cartoon questions like, who is Tex Avery? What are the Ninja Turtles? Who is Billy Joel? And like, reading it, I'm like, all right, it's actually pretty spot on. But obviously, I noticed there was like one or two little details. I think I asked a question about Chuck Jones. I was like, who is Chuck Jones? And it pulled up like a bio of him, but it's like, this isn't quite right and whatever. And it's just, but it is kind of scary how quickly, things have changed. I'm sorry, I'm laughing because I went to an AI generator and I put Anthony's animation talk, and it came up with an image of you as a white hair, blue eyed anime girl.
That is beautiful. I
should save that picture.
yeah, save it, please. I got to see this. This I got to see.
Let me see if I could. Can I save it or I'll screenshot it?
Steven's asked a question, because he's new to the channel. Hey, thanks for your support, and everyone for that matter. Did I have to delete a lot of early videos for copyright reasons? It's a long story, but I'll try and be as succinct as possible. So I started off doing commentaries, okay? There was supposed to be a simple thing to educate people, and eventually I had guests on and so on. But once I reached towards the end of 1946, I'd actually covered all the cartoons till then. Then I had copyright takedowns, and that was Warner Brothers legal. And I thought it cleared, but then their legal firm called me up, and I had to take them down. And so the only commentaries left are the public domain ones. But I wanted them back up on the channel in some way. And I actually asked the lawyer, the lawyer's assistant or whoever, paralegal, whatever you want to call them. I said to her, okay, I know fair use, you cannot define it as if you do A, B, and C, it's fine because it's so vague. So I said to her, so I did it in reverse. What is your objection to what I'm doing? And they said, our only objection is that you're showing the cartoon from start to finish. I said, okay, anything else that's offensive? They said, no. And they even complimented my knowledge and that sort of stuff. So they said, unfortunately, Warner Brothers, they have to act on their client, and they didn't want it done. Okay, fine. So I went and did the review format, and lo and behold, they get caught out automatically through the copyright system thing, but they pretty much release it. It used to be that the initial objection would get released, but they would now decline that, and you have to then jump straight to the appeal, where they then release it, because it's my understanding that for them to issue a takedown, they have to have a legal grounds to do so. And are they really going to take me to court over that? I mean, not just for the optics, but just, do they have any legal stand, like any legal grounds? That's why you'll see in the videos always, blah, 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 used under fair use. I'm taking no chances. I plastered that everywhere. So there you are. So to answer your question, yes, I have to take it down, but they're all coming back and better than ever. The silver lining I'm seeing here, I'm proud of the commentaries. I'm proud. I met a lot of wonderful people who jumped on board. Yes, including yourself, Manny.
Yay!
But doing these reviews allows me to revisit them, and with more experience now, so I can go, oh boy, there was so much to cover that I didn't cover, and the commentary format was kind of restrictive. It was supposed to be like a novelty, but whatever. I'm proud of what I did. I'm now proud of what I'm doing now, and that's that. So, what else we got here? I'm hoping AI will be good at restoring old films. AI, that's another good application. Upscaling. Now, you have to be aware of the limitations. So you can't take an old 5th generation VHS tape and upscale, and it will look like something that's 4K remastered. It'll just simply expand all of the VHS lines. But if you get something that was already restored and only on DVD, you can make it look like a HD quality. And I've done that with quite a few of my shorts, and they look pretty good. They will never quite match a proper HD version, but they're pretty close. So yeah. Let's have a look. Anything else? What are my thoughts on the Mr. Plickett reviews or Star Wars prequels? I think the most disappointing thing since my son. I have not watched.
The most disappointing thing since my son.
Wow. To answer your question, I won't comment on that, but I will comment on. I have not seen them. I mean, are they really bad? Are those really bad? Those reviews? I have no idea.
What about the prequels themselves? Because I was actually listening to somebody talking about like how some people people who I guess grew up with the prequels. I mean, I remember the first prequel came out in '99. I was 11, and I'm not a Star Wars fan. Like
Get out. Get out.
I respect fans of the franchise, and I'm familiar with many aspects from cultural osmosis. But like I was 11 when the prequels came out, and the last one was 2005, so I was 17. So you could argue if I was a fan, I would have had nostalgia for them. But people are saying, "Oh, these are crap," blah 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 blah. But now people have a different perspective on them based off of everything that's occurred during the Disney era of Star Wars, and like listening to I haven't watched any of the the Mandalorian or this and that, and I've been hearing tons of negative comments about the Acolyte, which I know you said you're okay with so far, but
it's fun. I like it. It's not the greatest so far, but I think it's interesting what they're doing. They're trying something new with the whole. It's like a murder mystery type thingy and exploring an era of Star Wars that hasn't really been done before on film, or in this case on digital. It's not made on film anymore. I think people are just upset that they've got a person of color as the main lead, but we're not going to get into that, are we? But look, the Disney era, hit and miss. The animated stuff's great. I love all the animated stuff. The last season of Clone Wars, the Bad Batch, that was pretty good. What else have they done? So Mandalorian's fantastic. I love all 3 seasons. Book of Boba Fett was okay. That's really like season 2.5 of the Mandalorian. Obi-Wan I didn't mind. But that could have been condensed by 1 episode. I think that should have been only 5 episodes, or maybe a movie. Ashoka was fun, but you really had to know some of the lore for that one to enjoy it. I can't imagine people watching it just as is.
When are we going to get to the lightsabers? Probably some people are like that.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So that was what Mr. Plickett said. Most disappointing things for my son. Oh, okay, got it.
I've seen some of their reviews on Red Letter Media on the Ghostbusters, like I think Ghostbusters 2 and the 2016 film. I've seen some of them, and I'm like, yeah, they have moments to make me laugh, and some other ones I'm like, I feel like they're trying too hard to get a laugh out of people, but maybe it's I don't get the humor or whatever, but that's just me. But hey, they're doing something right, because I'm not making any content. If you want me to make content, put it in the comments below.
yes. Now, guys, can you please pressure Manny into finally doing his YouTube channel, Ninja Turtles? I mean, what's the tagline that you're going to use?
Hold on 1 second. A special guest wants to join us. Give me 1 moment.
Oh, got another special guest. Make continents, Manny. Oh, okay. I don't think Manny's all powerful and can just generate a content. No, okay, I know you make content, but I just read it like continents. There we are. There's your other guest.
Ladies and gentlemen, the best special guest. It's Nina. Hi.
Hey, I'm seeing double here. 2 dogs.
You see 2 dogs over here. Yeah, I like the comics. Just dog. Spider is prime. An idea that I had, I mentioned it earlier. Okay, Nina, you want to say hi to the people? Oh, hi, doggy. Oh, okay, Nina, I love you too. Okay, she likes jumping on my bed.
Yes.
And so despite my insane love and thousands of dollars spent on Ninja Turtle stuff, I've actually never seen every single episode of the 4 shows. I mean, the original show is almost 200 episodes. The one that I've seen the most of was the 2003 series, because I was in high school and college when it came out. The 2012 one, I haven't seen. I only saw, I think, up to season 2. Not because I didn't enjoy it, but it's just life. But I know what happens in the show. And the most recent one, Rise, I was turned off initially by the character designs and some of the humor, but I've seen clips of it, and I know I saw parts of the film, and I'm like, wow, this is much better than I thought it would be. But Anthony, to answer your question, my tagline that I thought of was turtle trekking with the toony tenor, and also like doing content about music and whatnot. I mean, I am a performing musician and I sing whatever, but if you guys want it, I'll try to figure out a way to do it because I'm both a perfectionist and a procrastinator. My procrastination mainly comes from being a perfectionist, and I'm working on that. But yeah, I guess if you guys want me to, I'll figure out a way to do it and, support me. And maybe I'll put some content with Nina on it because everybody those cute dogs. Nina,
Yeah.
you want to watch the Looney Tunes and Turtles?
I think that's a yes.
I think that's a vote of confidence. She's just like, ooh,
but
salty.
what's the tagline that I recommend?
For the Turtles, the good, the bad, and the Venus. And if you don't know, for those of you unfamiliar, the Next Mutation, the live-action series from 1997, which I saw a little bit of when I was a kid when it was on, but it had the infamous fifth turtle, a female turtle, Venus de Milo, that Peter Laird famously, like, you could not bring up Venus de Milo around him. He would get really mad. But, I mean, Nina's a female dog, and we love her. Right, Nina?
There we are. There you go. Hey. That's Manny's procrastination time. So.
Ninita, hi Nina. Where are my 2 dogs? Hey, you got to bring more dogs here.
Yeah, he needs more dog.
Needs more dog. We just next time we do a live stream, it's like you bring your cat, I bring Nina, and just we'll just
sleeping. Yeah, he's an old man. He's 18 years old. He's sleeping, so
Oh, Nina's 3, so she's full of
dog
energy and doggy goodness. Needs more dog.
Dog.
Nope, look at her. She's yawning too. Oh,
yawning. I think we'll start wrapping it up. Look, everyone still watching or watching later on, I really appreciate your support. 5,000 subscribers, and now it's nearly 5,100. It's really weird because that Chuck Jones video just took off. And I mean, thanks to my editor, Blue Genocide, because I got him to do all of that editing. The only thing I added in was just my little intro music, and that's pretty much it. Like I sent him all my vocal recordings and the relevant footage to use and so on, and he's done an excellent job. So next up will be Tex Avery after Looney Tunes, because I want to do, alongside the reviews, to keep things fresh, I got to do other stuff, and that's the only way I can keep things going without feeling just same old. And eventually, as you get towards the end of the 50s with Looney Tunes, there's going to be a lot more hits and misses.
I'm already like dreading that point when we get to that.
So I want to make sure that I don't get bored of trying to finish off the journey. I want to make sure I get other things. But look, if next year with Popeye being a thing in the public domain, I think it's next year, isn't it? Popeye, I think he's going to be in the public domain.
95 years. I think it might be next year because
the
first Popeye comic strip was 20. It was 1929.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I wouldn't mind covering the Popeyes or something completely different too. But again, as long as once I get the redos out of the way, then I'll look at covering another series, because I can't, I think that will be probably the best way to do it. But yeah, I want to get those redos. It's sort of like my obsession with not letting Warner's win the war. Like they won that battle, I don't want them to win the war. So yeah. So thanks, guys. Let me know as well if you guys have any other ideas for live streams. I mean, I could get some animation games or something and talk to you guys while doing that. I could edit live, so you can see how I edit.
You can see him getting rid of all the ums and uhs in my Manny's Music Times.
Yeah, it's like, let's ask Manny Cruz for his expert opinion on music.
Thank you, Manny.
Thank you, Manny. He goes, he'll tell you.
He's a musician.
He's a musician. That's it.
I'm a musician.
Manny Cruz, the musician. There you go. That should have been.
I should get that on a shirt. That'll be my first batch of. I don't like using this word, but merch. It'll just be Manny the musician. No, wait, that's the actual word. That's like again the Simpsons. Like, oh, I could do jazz. Do 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 do. I literally just did the same thing.
Okay, then. You just replace the D's with do's.
Real quick, because I see Jay has mentioned it more than once. What is your opinion on the Golden Collection? I mean, they were great. They're
still great.
They still are. The Golden Collections, the Platinum Collections. I mean, in a perfect world, we would get all 1,000 shorts restored in HD. Obviously, don't put Clean Pastures and Tokyo Jokyo out for a little kid to see without,
yeah.
Oh, good. That list that I told you of shorts, I'm up to like 1948-ish, and I'm trying not to go too crazy. Like I put obviously bangers like the Great Piggy Bank Robbery, Baseball Bugs, whatever. For the early 30s, I put like maybe 1 or 2 Bosco shorts. I think the only Buddy I put was Buddy's Day Out, because I'm like, yeah, historical. This cartoon it's historical and it's awful. So it checks 2 boxes.
Yep.
But
you only go up from there.
On that list, I warned them. I'm like, dude, there's ugly parts of the history, and I put specifically Going to Heaven on a Mule on the list for him to see, because I'm like, it's a horribly racist short, and it's easily one of the worst shorts the studio ever made. I would say either that. I mean, like bad. I mean, you have bad ones like See You Later, Gladiator, because there's just not well made cartoons. But with I think with the Hit Critic mentioned it, that he was like, at least with maybe I think with Tokyo Jokyo or Going to Heaven on a Mule, he said, maybe I'm quoting him correctly, but you could argue that it's cool from not cool, I shouldn't say cool, but interesting from a historical perspective. Whereas you see someone like See You Later, Gladiator, it's schlock. But at the same time, it's like, is it really worth a historical thing when just like it's difficult to stomach, some of the content of those, the Censored 11 and Tokyo Jokyo and just all that other stuff. But
yeah,
sorry to end things on a sour note, but
it's like,
but it's like if you're gonna
release, here's Homer Simpson.
Yeah, are you ready to laugh? Oh, you awful man! I mean, that's me right now. But I mean, like, I guess the easy way of saying it's like if you're gonna release those, don't use discretion. Like I always use the example of the whole controversy they had with Gone with the Wind, that people were complaining about the like they had I forgot the name of the film historian that she was talking about the content, and I'm like, that's how it's done with explanations, with historical content, or people complaining about Peter Pan and other Disney shorts with the disclaimer. I'm like, I'll take it, if it allows.
Or get Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah, the Whoopi Goldberg. I mean, the disclaimer that she said, and also the ones that they still use to this day. I mean, I see people complaining on the MeTV forums. Oh, why do they have these disclaimers? Everybody's so sensitive. What's? I'm like, you're the one being sensitive because of a block of text explaining something. I mean, I don't know. You can never, with some animation nerds. And I've been in this hobby for 20-something years. I've been fortunate that I'm a fan of different fandoms, but I'm not like I'm a lone wolf. Like I don't, I jump into different fandoms, and I could go in and out. Where some people, that's their entire life, because I see all that negativity and all that nonsense that comes from it. They just don't know, how to separate reality from. I don't know. I had a point. Where's Nina? Nina, do something. Oh, there you go. She's sleeping. There you go.
There we go. But I could just picture it's like Whoopi Goldberg in like a glass sort of thing, and it says on the thing, in case of disclaimer emergency, please break glass. She pops out saying the disclaimer because she seemed like the go-to person. I mean, she did a great job. I'm not saying anything bad about it, and she's Maybe I should get her on the show. I'll ask her, you know. Oh boy, but yeah, I think that'll do it because I gotta have my lunch. I mean, that it's actually lunchtime where I am in my part of the world. So,
And it is 10:35 at night for me, and I've been up since 7 this morning. Woo!
like, why let me stop?
See what Nina's doing. I should copy what she's doing.
That's it. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll be happy to make more. I didn't actually mind the idea I just saw now, like where if there's like a topical issue, just maybe quickly hop on for a quick live stream to talk about it. I don't know. Maybe I'll do that. I don't know. Because that's quick content for me to make. It doesn't take long.
But what we should do is the next time we do it, we are in business suits, put everything in black and white, and we'll talk about collective bargaining and
that's right.
Come on, you know where I'm going with
that. That's right. It goes. Let me be blunt.
Let me be blunt.
Isn't there a labor crisis?
Is there a labor crisis? I'm trying to. It's like the guy with the mush mouth. It's like, wow.
That depends on what you mean by crisis.
Let me be blunt. Is there a labor crisis in the anime? Well, I mean,
we're talking about collective bargaining. Yeah, it's Anthony's collective bargaining talk.
I didn't even say barbecue. Yeah. Next time I'll come, I'll just bring my laptop outside since. It's oh my goodness, it was 99 degrees here in Jersey, which
so I think an Australian winter basically.
It's was it 36? Let me see. It was 99 today. 37 Celsius.
Oh, yeah, that's yeah. I'm used to that, yeah. So anyway. All right, guys.
It's been pretty hot.
I salute you all. I will, I'll do this again. This was fun, and now I got the technology that worked really, really well. So yeah, all right, guys,
it's alive.
It's alive. All right, guys, see ya. Bye.
Bye.